Hello everyone and welcome to the Avocado Games Cast. So we actually did it. We somehow made it to 50 episodes. And we did it without a single cent from Squarespace or a single lawsuit from Randy Pitchford. So, we're really making things happen here.
We outlasted iTunes at this point. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Apple Podcasts is coming soon, and the Avocado Games Cast will be coming to Apple Podcasts whenever that switchover happens. In any case, there's some nice symmetry to this episode, because our very first episode, way back in 2016, was a post-E3 recap. And now, 3 years later, we're doing another post-E3 recap, with some old friends, and some new friends we made along the way. Anyway, my name's Merve, and joining me, he said that Square Enix didn't announce The Quiet Man 2, its science is bad.
Yeah, my favorite game, The Quiet Man. Sequel to Silent Boy.
Oh yeah, Silent Boy 4. She said that Nintendo didn't announce a first-person shooter starring Rabid Peach. It's Lovely Bones.
There's old friends, new friends, and even a bear.
That is true. He said that Ubisoft didn't announce that every Assassin's Creed since Black Flag was just a spin-off and the real Assassin's Creed 5 is coming X-Fall to PS Vita. It's Ben.
I kind of am.
And finally, he said that Microsoft didn't announce a long-awaited big cross-media Halo Ori crossover. It's the Kappa.
I could cram a marathon in there maybe somehow too, get it all in there at once. Yeah.
Like a marathon, like they just keep making games constantly, like
no, they had a
like
game
5 years
marathon.
straight.
Oh yeah.
Early on in their careers. I
Does
think it was
Mac. It was a game, yeah.
Does anyone remember Tribes? I have no idea what Tribes is, but I heard that name a lot when I was a kid.
Tribes
weird
is like
resurgence a couple
Isn't
years
there a
back.
new one like a while ago?
Like Tribes
it
Ascent or
was a
something
new
like
one.
that. Yeah, so Tribes is like this old FPS multiplayer FPS with an emphasis on movement, and jetpacks and shit.
And
I never
you
played
could
it.
slide very well.
A lot of
It was
verticality, yeah. You
sliding.
speed more than move.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
weird.
so it's like the almost like a precursor to Titanfall, I would say.
Kinda. Yeah, that'd be a good
Yeah.
example.
Okay.
All right, so this is episode number 50. How are y'all feeling about that?
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
Good.
want a rating on
I
where we end up, but
I don't remember the count of my episodes, but I think I was in a couple of them.
I actually have a spreadsheet that has whoever's been on how many episodes. Currently, not as of this episode, as of episode 49, you've been on 15 episodes, Science, as has Ben. So you two are tied for third place.
Jesus Christ.
I'm coming for that record, motherfucker.
Oh wow, this is we're already falling
More than
apart. The second we hit 50, we make it big.
I'm
That's
sorry.
when the conflicts start.
Genuinely, I know I'm pretty new to the show, but it's really an honor to be a part of a cool milestone for it and to hang out with
50.
people who were kind of the
somehow
founder of it.
Halfway to 100. Halfway to 100.
Yeah,
Yes.
somehow we put up with each other for 3 years, so that's a pretty big accomplishment. So I was gonna use a segue, like speaking of putting up with things, but that would be a really kind of distasteful segue. That would be a really distasteful segue. So we should update people on the Riot Games situation that we talked about last episode. So now Riot Games is under investigation by the DEFH, the Department of, I think it's Equity and Fairness and Housing, or Department of Equity, Fair Employment. Anyway, DEFH California is investigating Riot Games because Riot has effectively just failed to comply with providing employment data, like really basic employment data to the government that has been requested of them. Regarding pay information and things like that. It's the kind of stuff that you just kind of have at the ready and could provide within a couple of days of the request. Not great for Riot Games.
Yeah, they're going to be legally forced to probably prove that they're systematically treated women worse. So that'll be good.
Yeah, well...
Oh my god, Riot Games, gosh.
It's what happens when you've got like this... I shouldn't say like this bro culture, because I think there are companies that are bro-y, but not like
I mean,
in this way.
I just think it's miserable to work there.
Yeah.
as a former / current bro, I really want to say this.
Oh,
Nerd
boy.
culture, they're a little bit different. I have a feeling. This whole the idea that it's open, I think it's not. I think it's kind of a little bit of both. But I think when they investigate it, I think there's going to be a lot more behind the scenes that they're going to uncover. So I think it's a little more nefarious than just jokes and stuff like that. Just reading some of the stuff. So
there's definitely been harassment and or groping, which is never good. So hopefully this ends up reforming Riot Games culture, and all the bad actors are edged out of the company where they belong.
I just thought that we had this discussion many times already about Riot Games. It's like over and over again they're just saying that everything will be better, and then
I think they dodge it in a couple creative ways. But I think it's kind of really like, okay, no, it's not going away this time. We've said the right thing supposedly too many times now, and people aren't buying it anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't have like the kind of love for Riot Games I do for lots of other publishers, So like they kind of a one-trick pony. Either you play their game or you don't. But I think they could be a very good ground zero for fixing a lot of these issues, because people can say, well, even though they're a larger mid-sized studio, look what happened to them because they couldn't get their shit together. It might be more of a warning, to other studios who are kind of out there doing some of the same stuff. And I mean, this is, like I was saying, this is kind of across the industry. I think you could find indie studios where this shit's going on, huge studios, so I don't think it's easy enough to just say, oh, well, this is just them, this is just that happening, because it sounds like the more you watch people talk about it, the more it's across lots and lots of companies where you hear these types of things going on. So
Telltale was also on record for having a lot of gender discrimination issues that never really got resolved because the company imploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Telltale had lots of issues. I think that never got resolved. The company just it sounded like an awful place to work and to make awful games based on licenses that you really didn't give a shit about after a while. So it's not surprising that. I think one of the reasons that might have just went away is people were fine with that company going away. It seems like internally a lot of people seemed really unhappy with it. So good riddance, I guess.
Profitable, I'm guessing, for it to just collapse like that.
I assume so. I have no clue, honestly. League of Legends is one of those things that just kind of slipped under my radar. It seems like Dota kind of took the crown for a while. I'm sure League is still very popular, but the thing about League is it seems like it's a toxic game made for toxic people who stream it to toxic audiences, made by a toxic developer.
Isn't it?
It's pretty much like the entire MOBA genre.
Yeah, kind of, but it's not like in the game itself. It's like everything surrounding the game makes it toxic.
No, the game is. Yeah, I mean, I played a fair share of League. I'll tell you this. This is kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to get in too much trouble, but like, I could actually the more I would play League, I hated who I became. One of the reasons I quit. I've never quit a game before because I felt myself becoming that toxic person. But I can remember typing shit to people very specifically, insulting them for certain things. I'm like even in my worst Halo days, I was never like that, but it's just kind of what you do, if you don't go on the attack, you end up having to defend yourself. It's like I couldn't explain a League match to you guys in any kind of way that would seem forgivable for how it goes, but I mean, it's literally like, oh, the healer screwed everything up. Everybody yell at him for 20 minutes. Okay, well, this next fight, this guy screwed everything up. Everybody yell at, and it just becomes this circle of blame and insult. And they've tried.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
That is nightmarish.
Great.
They've tried various things to fix it. They've tried to they have a little community core almost. But there's a reason if you look at a lot of their streamers, a lot of their most popular streamers are constantly being banned from League, from Twitch, from other, and it's because that's the kind of community that's basically grown up around that game. I think we can point to different games where the community was maybe better or worse, and I think that's one of the ones where it's always been worse as far as I can tell. Dota is bad as well, but League, I don't know if you guys have ever touched it, but it's, man,
Literally,
Hey.
all I know about League is the shitty, like, cutesy animated ads I keep getting for it on YouTube.
Yeah, stay in
I,
that comfort area because that's probably the best league experience
I
you'll
did
have.
play
But
it for a little bit, but as a very anxious person, I can't handle online games very well. So I was like, after some time, I was like, no, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can only play
I've
online
been
games
pretty
with
cool
friends.
with League is they bought Radiant Entertainment, and I've been waiting for them to do fucking something with that for ages because I loved Rising Thunder.
I feel like that most of the acquisitions they've made have literally just been to make like cosmetics for their games. I think that's really all they
So
sell.
it's the
I don't
Valve
think-
approach.
Yeah, Valve, exactly. You hire what is it, Campo Santo, and have them make hats. You know.
Yeah.
oh, that's
Oh, In the
depressing.
Valley of Gods will be the last game that studio
Yeah.
makes.
Exactly.
Moving on to E3, since that's what we're going to discuss for the bulk of this episode. So E3 happened, as of this recording, earlier this week, and I guess started, like, the pre-E3 conferences started last weekend. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the major conferences one by one. We're going to talk about some of the other stuff that happened at E3, some of the news that came out. So let's just dive right into it, and let's talk about the first pre-E3 conference, which was the Stadia conference.
Yeah.
Way back, actually, I think 10 days ago now.
Thursday? Yeah, so forever ago. It seems like.
Yeah, it seems like it was forever because so much happened this past week. And so we finally know exactly what Stadia is. It was a little unclear before. Google was just
I'm
like,
still a little bit unclear.
yeah, it's still, I mean, it's unclear that any of this will work as intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so Phil Harrison, the Google exec in charge of Stadia, he came out in front of a white screen, very Silicon Valley-esque, and talked about Stadia for half an hour, kind of like in a Nintendo Direct style video, but without the charming awkwardness, just the regular awkwardness.
And it was a little less tech-oriented than their initial announcement. It was a little bit more about the games and the service than, here's the tech that'll make this work.
It was definitely more software focused. Successfully, probably not, but
Yeah.
tried to be.
I've said before, I think that, if we look at the install base for who supposedly can run this, it's pretty big. I know everybody's saying this isn't going to work for the majority of people, but I think somebody said that 150 million people in the U.S., something like that, have the capability to have the speeds to run this at the ability. So that's a big enough market, I guess, for them. But I think the biggest surprise to me was that they're not just selling it as a service; they're actually selling games on it. I think that's a mistake. I wouldn't buy Destiny just on Stadia, if that makes sense, right? Like, I would want to buy a $10 game streaming pass that includes Destiny, but I wouldn't want to buy a game specifically exclusive to Stadia. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't get that. Hey,
Yeah, it's too, I don't know, ephemeral of a product right now that I would want to spend $60 on a game that I could only stream there. The idea of a Netflix for games, I mean, it's everywhere right now. Everybody's got one. I just don't understand why you can't sell that hardware, if you want to call it that, the controller and other stuff. It just doesn't warrant me buying a game specifically for that platform and not being able to play it on something else, I guess, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of where I'm at with it too. What I think the problem is that anybody who would be interested in being an early adopter is already someone who could play these games on a
Exactly.
PS4, an Xbox, or a PC.
Now, yeah. Having said that, I think that the only reason for this to exist is in the future for it to utilize the power of data centers, right? To
Yes,
make games
yeah.
that possible
Same as
to run.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
so-
what's hard for me is that I think they'd already kind of need a foothold in the gaming space to make that possible, right? So, like, Microsoft makes some of their own games. It makes sense that they could do some of that cloud processing, which they tried to do with Crackdown 3 before that fell apart. I trust Microsoft to do that more than
Also,
Google.
like I know Crackdown 3 is the big joke, but they do actually have a bunch of games that do use cloud processing already. Like Sea of Thieves does all of the physics calculation for the water on the cloud, and
It's the best way water in video games too.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And I know most of their AI in Forza is done on the cloud too, so they already are using the cloud in their games.
Yeah, I guess so. Here's what I think is like where Stadia's kind of could fit, and not unironically for me, I know it's Destiny, but I think the Destiny presentation made the most sense to me in that I can play this game on my Xbox. I can then take my save, upload it to Stadia, and play on my phone. Then when I'm done playing on my phone, I can take my save, send it back to Xbox, and it's like it saves all my progress. That to me is where Stadia could really shine. Do you know what I mean? Like almost being like a supplemental to other systems, right?
Yeah.
So you take your game with you on the go. Maybe like you're stuck in work, you got pretty decent Wi-Fi, you're on your tablet, and you want to knock out a couple hours of some very basic grind in I don't know, God of War, right? Okay, cool. Load it up, play an hour or two on your lunch break, send that save back to your PlayStation 4. So then when you get home, you're back to playing it on your preferred system on your TV and everything else. That's kind of the way I would look at Stadia being really good. The problem is, how does that fit in with lots of other things? Because Microsoft and Sony are basically already doing exactly that with their own, services. So does that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And as far as portability, well, a lot of games that have multi-platform games that have cross-save, you can you play them on the Switch on the go, and then you load it up on your Xbox or your PC when you get home. That's already kind of happening.
Right.
So I don't know that Stadia will provide an additional benefit.
I don't
Can
either.
we talk about the fact that they got fucking Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as one of their launch games? What the hell is that? That game's like 5 years old.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't exactly touting new technology. I feel like Stadia is going to have to be built in for games somehow. I don't know if it's as plug and play as they were making it sound.
Hold on. And no matter how absurdly overconfident they are in their ability to get these things to run stably, why would you push so hard on fighting games?
Yeah.
How and why?
I'm probably the one here that does the fighting game shit the most, and I cannot imagine playing a fighting game through this. It is just.
I mean, that's exactly the thing they want to
shit.
prove, that you can, right?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, but if you go they have to have this 1,000% nailed if they want to get the fighting game crowd, because we're talking about people that lose their shit over 3 frames of input lag.
Oh yeah, and I think they know that, and that's why they're showing fighting games. They're saying we're so confident in this technology that we're sure that the fighting game fans are going to be satisfied by playing fighting games on Stadia.
And I think they're setting themselves up to fail because fighting games fans are not satisfied by anything.
I think they're setting themselves up to fail just in general, to be honest. And I mean, not in a bad way. I'm pretty up on streaming tech. That's the thing. I think it's maybe not 100% there, but I think it will be. And I think it's 100% the future. But I feel like.
Sorry.
What I think is gonna kill Stadia is gonna be the plans that they're selling and the way that they're introducing it. And basically, they're not coming out with Stadia exclusive games that you can only play on Stadia.
They have
one,
2 exclusives. They have
well,
Guilt, which is the new game from Tequila Works, which looks pretty good, and they have Get Packed, which is some 4-player multiplayer party game, and those are the only exclusives.
Well, sorry, they do have exclusives, but you know what I mean? Like we always talked about with console releases, that the key phrase is system seller, right? What's your system seller? And if it's Destiny and Division, all these other games that I can play elsewhere, and Microsoft and Sony and everybody else is going to allow me to cross-save, and then they're going to have the streaming on top of it, I just don't see that. I don't see where they fit in,
it's very, it's not, you don't have to buy a system for it, so it's not that.
Also,
you have to buy the controller.
Unless Google's gonna push their thumb so damn hard on these indie developers that they'll just die instantly, there's no way those games are remaining exclusive for that long. No indie remains.
Oh yeah. No way. They did have Baldur's Gate 3 on that.
Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna be on PC, it'll probably
Yeah, I
be on
know.
consoles eventually.
Yeah,
but
I know.
PC
They did have it on the stage, which I liked because I do like those old games. So
Sure, no, I like Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah.
TOO. I also like
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah, cool.
English
Yeah,
is a stupid language.
Language.
Yeah, so the price, the Kappa I think is right that the pricing is a little bit strange. I think not so much a subscription plan, $10 a month is not ridiculous. It's the only way you can get in on the ground floor is by shelling out, what is it, $130 for the Founders Edition?
And the weird controller that looks like crap, and
That does not look ergonomic.
No.
But you can use other controllers, right?
Yeah, you can, but they're basically forcing you into this Founders thing if you want to be one of the early adopters. But I don't know. I mean, like I'm excited about it. The idea of being able to, just toss my game save onto a phone, and play it, or a crappy laptop, and play it off of Wi-Fi, if I can get good enough speeds, is interesting to me. I just don't know.
I think, I'm with you. I think streaming is, like, the potential of it is amazing, but I don't see what Google is doing as the thing that's going to push it through, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think like I keep saying, I think where they fell apart for me into like, I probably will get this to, okay, I'm going to wait and see, is the fact that they want you to buy games. There's something weird
so
to the
confusing.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, they're not offering the actual option to locally install these games that you're...
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
no, you can't.
Nope.
So, I mean, you're just trusting that, because, like, I know a lot of people say, oh, what if I'm less worried about them revoking my license to play it as they are being like, look, barely anybody's playing Baldur's Gate 3 in 2023. So even though you feel like you want to go load up a save on Stadia, too bad we don't support that anymore from our data centers or whatever, That's what I'd be more worried about than anything. But
I don't know if it'll work like that. I'm not.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, but
They never really
I
resolved
think
that.
it's like just going to be like they'll have data in the data center, and just like data lies on Steam, they're not going to like. Steam has a lot of shitty titles that nobody's playing, but you can still download them, a lot of them. So I think like the data retention is not a problem. And
what I'd say to speak to that is, for all of Valve's shittiness, they've been committed to preserving your ability to download stuff, even that they don't sell anymore.
Exactly.
Which I don't think Google as a company has that same commitment. They have a tendency to just abandon things and shut them down entirely.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, that could change with Stadia.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but because it's not, they're not going to, support. They're not going to
Get your money.
No, get my money because they're not going to Poland. So fuck them.
Oh yeah, they're not even launching in your country, so it's all like
no, screw them. Thanks, but no thanks. I can't even buy it. So, and if
about them like losing the licenses though, I'm just having a look at the games I have here. Just Dance is one of them, and fucking music rights destroy games. Like, how many games have like been unlisted and shit because of music rights?
Alan Wake most recently, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, also because again I come from like fighting game background, like the Marvel vs. Capcom games disappear off things all the time because of rights issues. Like, it's fucking flip a coin whether you can get a Marvel vs. Capcom game at the moment. And like, yeah, I can see shit going badly. Like Power Rangers, what if they lose the rights to that? Like,
I don't know.
It's just gone.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I Google feels like one of those companies that throws a lot of money at stuff, and then at some point they're like, okay, this isn't working, we're done with it, I'm thinking about like Google Glass and all these little weird side projects they've always had, and it does.
What was their fucking Facebook thing? Google Home?
Google Plus. Yeah.
Yo, I know someone who bought a Google Glass, and I fucking laughed at him for ages.
But yeah, I mean, like they've got a
You were right to do so, Merve. You were right to do so.
Like, we're gonna do this, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna just be done with it, And I think that's a really scary spot to be a consumer trying out a brand new product that doesn't seem like it's all 100% explained or there,
I do like that Merve was ready to go on the rant about.
Yeah,
Google.
he's ready to go. Sorry,
Google
you
Glass.
want to
No,
go
that's
for
fine.
it? Go for it.
No, I was just saying I used to laugh at this dude who who I knew from back in like grad school who bought a Google Glass, and he'd walk around with it, and he'd just like be walking down the street and he'd say, "Okay, Google," and he'd be like, "Okay, Google, take a photo," and he'd just be walking down the street and be like, "You fucking creepazoid, fuck
That
you,
does seem
take
like
off
some-
that fucking Google Glass. You're just taking photos of random shit because you can." Anyway, that was my Google Glass rant.
I loved it. Thank you.
Anyway,
Very thorough.
so that was
I hate it more than I ever have.
yeah. I can't deal with that shit. So moving on to the first, I guess, actual-ish conference of E3 was the Microsoft conference.
Oh, we're not doing EA.
Well, we could talk about. There's not a lot to it.
Maybe we could talk about EA
Obviously,
for a
I
little
read
bit.
after like
But-
20 minutes of that one, so yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, EA, and then
Okay, sure. Let's mention EA real briefly. So EA, instead of doing a traditional press conference, they decided to eschew that entirely this year, and they decided to just do a bunch of
did
live
make-
streams about their games, hosted by I guess Greg Miller and Andrea Renee.
A 3-hour live stream from their office that was dedicated to all of 5 games.
that
Yeah.
was yes. It was so weird how much time they had for. I feel like they were trying to go almost for like a festival kind of like environment or setting. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be like fun, but you just kind of see these like bored people waiting in line for a turn to try a game. You know, it just I don't know. It felt wrong in a lot of ways.
It feels like
tell-
they're trying to ape Nintendo Treehouse, but they don't know what makes Nintendo Treehouse work.
No.
Right. And I
Right.
don't necessarily think the hosts were bad. I think the hosts were fine enough, but it was just like the setup almost, and that was an interesting conference.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even watch any part of the stream. I just watched a couple of the videos afterwards, like the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay
God.
demo.
God, man, I tried to get through that thing. I really tried. It was so
It's-
fucking miserable.
I want to point out that, like, okay, I did watch all of the Jedi Fallen Order thing and everything, and yet I didn't find out that game is a Metroidvania till after the Microsoft show. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not mention that in a half-hour conference about your game?
Yeah, like they made it look like it was this extraordinarily linear, like Uncharted aping game.
Yeah, and then
and
on
it's
the
not that
Inside
at all.
Xbox thing, the dude's like, "Oh yeah, we're a Metroidvania. We were taking most of our inspiration from Metroid Prime." Like, how the fuck did you not mention
Yeah,
that?
I didn't get that at all from that.
It's
I mean-
because EA knows a very specific audience that they were aiming for with that live stream, and it's not us, y'all. it's the people who will dedicate their time to knowing exactly what all the new changes to Madden 2020 are.
But that is me. So
Like,
Okay, fair enough.
You play a
there's
lot about
overlap.
it,
There are
and I
people who
wasn't
like
interested
sports
in it.
games and like Gone
Sure.
Home. Those people exist.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, I would say this. They really missed the mark. If that's what they were going for, they were trying. They missed the mark both ways then, because I don't think you got the Star Wars hardcore fans excited. I don't think you got the people who want a Gears of War up in your face, get crazy with a lightsaber experience either. That the gameplay looked boring. It looked fucking boring.
So
It looked a little bit better in the Microsoft one, but I was surprised that. I think Merve might have said this in the thread, but how do the makers of Titanfall make a game look this anemic? You know, like it
Yeah.
looked like they were showing like clash with the swords and stuff, and it was supposed to be like this exciting moment. It was just kind of like, eh. It looked like kids hitting each other with like Nerf bats. You know?
Traversal is what really got me. It's even more trivial than the traversal in Uncharted.
Right.
And like they've made Titanfall 2, which is all about crazy wall running. And you're a fucking Jedi. You should be like doing backflips and shit. Not like wall running at a speed that is so slow you just fall off the wall.
Yeah, that was surprising, and the voice acting and everything else looked good. It looked good. That's not surprising. Battlefront 2, actually, for all the crap it got, is a very good looking game.
Yeah, that game's fucking gorgeous.
I just don't know why they didn't put more effort into making the game look fun. Maybe they thought, okay, the Star Wars guys are going to buy it no matter what. And, you know, we'll tell people it's an Uncharted Metroidvania, and that'll get some people interested. But what I saw.
Can I
Yeah.
clarify that I wasn't trying to attack the audiences of the sports games or anything?
No,
I was
no,
just- I was trying to say
trust
that EA has misconceived ideas.
I get it.
They announced 3 new EA original indies the same day, but they didn't devote any time from that 3-hour live
Did they?
stream. Yes.
Well,
I didn't see that shit. I watched the fucking stream.
Yeah,
they didn't put that in the live stream because they don't think that's what their core fans want.
Even like, I mean, to get into like the Madden part of it, like even as like a Madden fan, we're sick of hearing about the stuff that we don't want because they're so committed to getting the equivalent of, so FIFA has this really popular mode where basically
Ultimate Team.
Yeah, Ultimate Team. So Ultimate Team is extremely popular in FIFA because of the nature, I think, of soccer, right? In other words, yeah, you could have a team where Ronaldo and, Pele in his prime could conceivably be on the field at the same time, and people are really into that, like creating these ultimate soccer teams from like multiple generations. It doesn't really work that way in the NFL. People are more fans of teams than players, right?
Yeah.
So like whenever I make a Madden Ultimate Team, I try to get as many Baltimore Ravens on that team as I can in their prime. But that's boring to play against people who like kind of min-max the system and instead make a team of, cobbled together best of all-stars. So every year they try to like basically weasel in this Madden Ultimate Team more and more and more, and people hate it because it's where all the microtransactions lie and it's where EA makes all their money. So they've kind of done away with certain things in favor of, okay, well now that mode is more of a Madden Ultimate mode, so you've got to get, if you want to create a linked franchise now, you can do it technically, but they want you to do it through the Madden Ultimate mode, which is where I create a franchise, I manage the players, I coach it, I play the games, but I'm also paying a lot of microtransactions to level up my players, basically. It's probably more Madden than you guys need to know, but players in Madden kind of RPG-ish have stats, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like, you can get a receiver who has very good catching, but he's kind of slow, but he's known for making spectacular catches, okay? In Madden Ultimate Team, what you can do is you can buy more cards and level up those stats. So you see where that goes, right?
Can
like
you
even if
stem any spells?
Yeah, you can spend.
Oh, cool.
There actually like kind of is the equivalent of spells if you want to get down into
get
it.
out of here.
No. So like, there's like an ability that you press that's kind of like go for like a super catch. Like if you want to think of it, so like it's kind of the equivalent of like your once a game. You can play these burner cards to have a spectacular catch versus a regular catch. It's a fucking mess. So that's my little Madden rant. Is it's not even where like stuff like what EA announced isn't even excited to those people anymore, because you just know what you're basically doing is trying to figure out how they can get more money off of you rather than get you excited about a new generation of Madden, which is what they should be doing.
Well, that's good to hear, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I will give to EA's credit, though, is they had a schedule of when every game was going to be on the show, so I could get up and watch, okay, Titanfall's on now, Apex is on now, I'm going to fucking bed, I don't care about the rest of this shit.
Sure. No, the structure of the scheduling wasn't a bad idea of just being specific about when everything was. Also, can we talk about, we're already spending too long on this, but so I'll just say this really quickly. Like, most of that live stream was dedicated to basically like live service games or otherwise games that are continually updating. And guess which prominent live service game that released this year that we love to dunk on did not get featured at all?
Anthem. It was glaring.
Oh shit! I
glaring.
That was an EA game.
They literally didn't say one word about it until like an after conference thing with the developer where they were like, oh yeah, we've got lots of exciting stuff. There's lots of excitement around their community. And you know what they did that was the most, I mean, EA does a lot of tone deaf shit. This was maybe the most tone deaf thing. They were talking about Anthem and they said, well, we're going to re-engage with our EA game changers to see where we can make this game better. And if I don't know how much of the Reddit community or Anthem community in general you pay attention to, but a lot of people,
much, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one.
But the EA game changers are basically the people who got a lot of the blame from the community at large for saying this game sucks because they tried to cater it to streamers. So there's a lot of hate towards those people in the community rather than, oh, cool, I wish, this streamer would get back on Anthem because they've all quit. They're not getting the views, so they're off of Anthem now. So to hear them re-engage with the game changers, and the mode that they're touting right now is a leaderboard mode, right? So who can clear this kind of cataclysm mode the fastest? And people are saying this isn't what we want at all. It's supposed to be, a looter shooter RPG. Who cares? This is a streamer thing. This is so I can say, hey guys, #1 NA leaderboard, come watch my stream. But the game changers are gone. The players are gone. The game's dead. And the way they're going to get people back is a leaderboard. Like, It's baffling.
They need what they need is more story content, which takes a while to build.
I think nothing short of a full-on Realm Reborn Final Fantasy would even help this game at that point. It is so beyond dead. I'm glad you brought that up, Bones, because that was 100% something I want to talk about, and just how unfathomable it would be that BioWare would release a game and then 2 months later they don't even talk about it at E3. That's very
their
telling.
single-player games received more post-launch support, which is it's just baffling that Anthem has failed as hard as it did, and EA just doesn't seem to understand how to right the ship. I don't even want to right the ship at this stage.
It's very easy to look at live service games and think, oh, we can do that. And you guys remember when World of Warcraft was just like, people were like, this is the shit. We need to figure out how to get people to pay for a game month and month and month, And so all of a sudden, all these
cemeteries of dead MMOs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I think EA looked at Destiny and said,
remember APB? Jesus.
Yeah.
That died after 3 days.
The Matrix MMO?
Down.
I mean,
the Matrix.
Do y'all remember
Matrix MMO?
Do y'all remember how the government of Rhode Island ended up on the hook for a game studio that tried to make an MMO and failed?
It was owned by a baseball pitcher?
Yeah, it was owned by Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
That whole fucking mess.
Todd McFarlane.
I'm so glad you brought that up. The lack of Anthem was, I mean, in a way it's sad because we've all been saying it for a while here, but it's going to suck that this is the way that BioWare goes out. But, some of it's EA's fault, don't get me wrong, but the more I played it, the more I realized there was some very conscious decisions by BioWare that made this game as bad as it was. And turning it over to the Star Wars guys now, I think they turned it over to the Austin guys. It's kind of a Hail Mary, hey, please go fix this, figure out what's wrong with it. And I don't know if it'll ever get there. I mean, maybe 2-3 expansions down the line, but at that point, their return that they're going to be making on that game is going to be so infinitesimal, because one of the things they promised was that all DLC will always be free. So they either lose that and never make a dime on this game and shut it down, or they backtrack on that, relaunch it, do a whole big Final Fantasy 14 thing, and basically try to get people to rebuy it. But I don't know. It's sad. Sad.
Yeah, sad all
that's
around.
the last game BioWare gets to make, basically, isn't it?
Well, Dragon Age 4 is going to happen, but it's going to be not what people want. The scuttlebutt.
They're going to have to find a way to monetize the crap out of it, I feel like, in order to even kind of stay in EA's good graces to maintain as a studio. And I think as soon as people start seeing, hey, pay an extra $5... I mean, Dragon Age has always had cosmetics, don't get me wrong, but once they start getting to the point where it's going to be like, unlock this story quest with only a $5, micro purchase or something like that.
Plus $10 to bone this party member.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be really good.
Oh no.
I mean, I remember being very disappointed by Dead Space 3 when it came out. Like, it was full of microtransactions. Nothing that really impeded the story, but even like it being microtransactions being mentioned in game in your menus was like kind of.
It takes you out of it, right?
It was a bummer.
I think the funniest version of that is actually from the first Dragon Age, where you go to a dude in your camp, and he's like, please help me, like, find my father or something. And then, like, in the dialogue, it's like, hey, $10 to get this. It's like, wait, fucking what?
There's also, I think the worst one, if I really want to get down to it, was what Deus Ex did in whatever their latest version was.
Mankind Divided?
Yeah, in the single-player game where it was like, I don't know how many times that thing popped up trying to get you to buy it, but it was damn near constant to buy were they Phoenix credits or something like that?
Phoenix points, something like that. Yeah. It was a really annoying...
You didn't need to. I mean, it became pretty obvious you didn't need to. I think you might have talked about this somewhere recently, but...
What kind of leaked out about this is that they were asked at the last second by Square Enix to implement microtransactions, and they'd already balanced the game properly, so they just made it possible to buy essentially experience points.
But like there would be like things like you would go into your menu, basically like level something up, and it would say something like would you like an extra level? Buy some Phoenix credits from the store. And it's like, what? Why?
It's so pointless.
It's a single player game. I'm gonna get more experience. You know, I just seemed really. I felt like mobile. You know, how, like when mobile games do that, like your time's up. Go ahead and spend an extra $1.50, and you can get more. You know, blueberry juice or whatever.
I don't really want to like get deep into it, but it always feels like whenever I see something like that, it feels like the game was balanced specifically to make me buy these kind of things.
Well, God bless the EU, because I think they're the ones fighting this war right now when it comes to
we'll see how
that
it goes.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
We'll see. One last thing I want to, if we can go back to Fallen Order really briefly, one last thing I wanted to mention is, like you said that, we said that, you know, they didn't mention that this thing was a Metroidvania during the stream, and they did a bad job of kind of catering to the audience that was tuning in. But even accounting for that, what really kind of struck me about the game is that making it a Metroidvania won't make it less boring.
Yeah.
Right? It still looks boring. In fact, it's going to make it worse because you have to redo all that boring stuff every time you go through those areas. Yeah. So I just don't know what they're doing with that particular game and the Star Wars license as a whole, because they haven't put out a good Star Wars game yet on this license.
I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so I can only tell you from my perspective, right? Star Wars is a power fantasy, right? I mean, at its core, right? Doesn't everybody want to be the Jedi who, you know, overruns the galaxy and kicks ass, or the pilot who's untouchable and can take down 100 TIE fighters without even blinking? I think that's what people have always wanted, but for some reason, they've always kind of shied away from that, right? They want you to play as a normal-ass stormtrooper, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always very weird to me that they're afraid to give you the power fantasy, because I don't know if the game falls apart, if it's harder to do something with, but I think that's always kind of reflected in I'd say most Star Wars games, not just EA ones, but
the fucking God hacks fucking Jedi dude one.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, which is much more fun to play than Fallen Order looks. Still a bad game.
Right, but what would you say that Force Unleashed at least is like? That shit's broken.
I'd say it's a
like a
middling
demigod.
game.
Yeah, but
it's a B-tier game.
Playing less than Jedi and more like a force of nature most of that game.
Here's the fucking thing. I would rather like just play the original Max Payne games. You have like bullet time, you do dodges. I'm like, that's more fucking Jedi than what was shown off in the Fallen Order trailer.
That's a really good point. Like, Jedi mechanics have infiltrated many other games at this point. You know, how many games have like, not maybe like a force choke, but, you know, weird telekinesis, or, you know, a gravity gun, or whatever kind of weird thing you want to call it.
Like fucking Psychonauts is more Jedi, because you can like set things on fire with your mind. It's great. So I think that's a good coverage of EA. Let's move on to Microsoft now.
And a segue with that Psychonauts reference.
Yeah, Psychonauts.
Oh yeah, that is a segue. So the big news. I didn't even realize it. I unintentionally segued.
That's the kind of you're pro at this. You're just
I was born to do it. I'm a natural.
Yeah.
So speaking of Psychonauts, Microsoft has acquired Double Fine.
Yep.
Which is not what I would have expected, but it was all kind of foreshadowed at the start of the conference when Phil Spector walks out with a Psychonauts t-shirt.
Kind of good news, bad news, I think. I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid of what Microsoft's going to do. I know I'm the fanboy, but I'm really not. I feel like Microsoft's position right now is how much money can we give you to make games for our systems, period. I don't think they're in the business of like getting down into the weeds of saying, no, we really need you to make like what EA did to BioWare, supposedly. You know, I don't think Microsoft is going to tell them, hey, you guys need to get to work on the next Halo expansion, or, you know, Gears of War 6 or anything.
I mean, he literally joked about that in the conference, didn't he? He came out and said, like, do anything you want. We'll fucking make Excel spreadsheets for you.
I trust that they'll probably be pretty hands-off with Double Fine. Like, they have Double Fine because they want be able to say, hey, you can buy the new cool Double Fine game and actually care about what that brand means.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, though, that the part of Double Fine I'd be worried about is I've always thought this about Double Fine. Don't get it the wrong way, but they've always kind of felt like the studio that's kind of been like, they've got great ideas, they've got great games, but they've always been like kind of poorly managed. Like Tim Schafer's always felt more like the funny uncle than like the guy who's like getting down into the books and making sure that, you know, we're not running over budget or over time on games. They've always had that feel of like
So,
Why did
like,
this game
they had
take
that
years?
they had that really high profile failure with Space Base DF9
Oh,
that a lot of
yeah.
people
Yeah.
understandably haven't forgiven.
Yeah.
So I think having people, like Tim Schafer himself said, having people take care of sort of the management side of things so that the people working at the studio can care more about actually working on the games is probably what Double Fine actually needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think Microsoft's going to be fully hands off with them, but I think what Microsoft is doing is acquiring a range of studios that make a range of different games, and they're not going to try to square peg round hole these guys because
Yeah.
they're going after a wide variety. Like they have Ninja Theory, which makes very different stuff. They acquired Playground Games, which makes very different stuff. In Exile, like these are all games that studios that specialize in very different genres. So bring
Yeah, and I
along
think
Double
you can
Fine
tell
means,
from the fact that In Exile, I think, was probably the first to announce right out the gate of the new studio something new, and it was Wasteland 3. It wasn't anything. I mean, it's got a little bit of a different tinge to it. It felt a little more maybe Borderlands-y to me.
Yeah.
But
That was a very Borderlands-y trailer.
it was Wasteland 3, though, at least as far as the, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's good news. If they would have been like, okay, here's the first game from In Exile, and it's a fucking,
it's Brute Force 2.
it's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
a card game, or something weird, then yeah. But I do know that that one game I think a lot of people were weird. What's the 4x4 Bleeding Edge?
Bleeding
Edge, yeah.
Yeah.
The Ninja Theory one, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, Microsoft's making it." I remember hearing that was a game that Ninja Theory wanted to make
They'd been in
forever.
development that had been in development before they got bought. Like,
Yeah. For years, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a weird melee 4v4 Overwatchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Could be cool, but I mean, I don't think that's anything that they were forced to make in a 6 months since they've been bought or whatever.
Bleeding
No.
Edge is going to be like a running theme for a lot of E3 this year. Is that like it's a game that I'm kind of excited to be excited about, but they didn't fucking show anything.
Yeah.
That's
That was
like-
kind of the running thing with the Microsoft conference, because I should say on the whole I like what was shown, but they didn't show very much gameplay during the conference.
Just the concept of it is like, okay, it's a 4 vs 4 game, but with Devil May Cry combat. That sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like there was a game demo on the floor, wasn't there?
There had to
Yes.
have been.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was happening all fucking over the place, where companies have game demos ready for people to try on the show floor, but they don't want to provide access to it to the entire public for some fucking reason.
next year we're taking the podcast E3, guys.
I get a press pass or
Yeah.
something.
No, I agree. But I think it was across the board. I don't know why they were afraid to show it. I wonder if part of it is why. I know we'll get into this later, but I wonder if part of it is because of what happened with the Avengers game and what's going on right now in the narrative around that game. Maybe they're just worried if they're showing something that's not 100% complete and it doesn't look good, that people are going to freak out about it. I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out why you don't at least show some Halo gameplay at this point, or some. I think they did show some Gears, right?
Yeah.
I really
So
don't think they have
No, I don't
any
think they
kind
did
of
show
thing.
Gears. They showed
It-
Gears gameplay
Oh,
last year.
They showed it after. They had like a. If you watch the press conference on Mixer, they had like an after show where they showed
Okay.
that before I saw it.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
the-
sure that they don't have anything Halo to actually show. Like,
Yeah.
no game.
Yeah,
That
Gears,
game comes
It's
out
probably all
next
white
year.
boxed right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Halo comes out next year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It comes out in probably like 16 months, roughly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It'll be in
they will have
November.
something to show.
Yeah.
It should, but I think it's like
It might even get delayed.
pre-alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't know. I'm kind of one of those, like, I'm in that point, take your time with it, Microsoft. But yeah, I
Sure.
think at this point we should at least have an idea of what conceptually it is. It looked great. I really liked a lot of that lighting effect on his armor and stuff. Looked really cool. The ship looked cool. I don't know why, that story was a little bit, I guess they went for like an in media res. I'm assuming we're not going to just, that better not be how the game starts or I'm going to be pissed off. But
See how Halo 5 fucking ended, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot going on in the Halo universe right now, and if it's they don't deal with some of that, I'm gonna be a little
I'm
disappointed.
just
But
really glad to see that because like the last trailer I wasn't sure. I'm really glad to see you're still Chief, because
yeah, maybe spoilers, but basically the AIs of the Earth have revolted. So
like every AI that runs all the spaceships and everything is like, yeah, no, fuck it, we out.
Yeah, like we're done with war basically. Like you guys basically keep, because like AIs have kind of developed like almost like personalities, and most of them are like, yeah, you're making us fight your wars and getting us killed along with you, and we're done with it. So that's a really kind of, I think, an interesting narrative for Halo to kind of explore, right? Because Master Chief is kind of the go-between for these AIs and humans, and he's pretty much sick of war as well. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes at this point.
I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I'm just really glad that.
But then that trailer did nothing. I mean,
yeah,
that's,
I know. Like,
I don't know how you bring new people into the franchise when you're continuing stories.
That's what the Master Chief Collection is for, right?
Short answer is exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you're about to get a lot more people playing Halo. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a part of why they're kind of like maybe doing a little soft relaunch with this one. But yeah, it's going to be, PC is going to grow Halo by leaps and bounds. I know a lot of people who have said, "Oh, I just never had an Xbox, and I've always heard about Halo, and I'm interested in it." You know, give me the short and sweet, and
that's
honestly,
pretty much
like,
where I'm at, because I'm probably like, I'm gonna be real. I'm probably never gonna buy an Xbox. There's a lot of reasons for that. Not because I hate their lineup. It's just because I like. We'll get into this a little later.
Because you're a weeb. It's because you're a huge fucking weeb and you want the JRPG.
Yeah, that's basically what. Not even like the JRPGs, like the Yakuza games. Anyway, so that's why I probably never. Probably I'm never going to buy an Xbox, but I've always been interested. I like sci-fi shooters. I want to play beyond the first Halo game. So I'm excited for a Master Chief Collection.
The thing that I think is also like helps you catch up with Halo and everything is right. Like I didn't play fucking Halo games. Like I'm super into them now, but I only got them at Halo 4, and I just bought all the other ones and played through them in like a week. They're not that long.
yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Halo 1's like 10 hours. It's it's
Greatest
very
10 hours
doable.
you'll ever spend.
I played Halo 3 and I was like, yeah, okay. And I just kind of stopped.
It's kind of weird to jump in at 3.
Before I played the other two, and I'm like, these are shit, and I hate them. And then I played like Halo 1 and 2 first, and then played 3, and at this point, I've like fucking read all the books. Like, that's how deep.
Oh my god, Ben! How are you? How are you in 2019 becoming what my brother was in like 2004?
Yeah, you're like, so like, how do you find time to read all the Halo books between all the Assassin's Creed books that you've been reading?
I
own
Lord. A single Assassin's Creed book, and I've only read one.
I actually didn't even know there were Assassin's Creed books. I just made that up.
There were
every fucking game.
Gears of War books.
Yeah. Speaking of,
there's a book for everything.
General Weebery, though, were you at least excited for some of the JRPGs they announced at Microsoft?
So this is the really funny thing is that, and this is something I think we should discuss a little further, is that Microsoft has again trying to make inroads back into Japanese gaming, which they started last year, which they went full weeb at their conference, and this year, this is where Tales of Arise got announced.
Yeah.
Also,
which
can
is
we say, holy
Phantasy
shit,
Star
they're
Online?
giving Tales games a budget?
Yeah.
Like,
Looked so fucking good.
Like, I don't know if you guys have watched the, like, slow degradation of what Tales games have become, but they went from, like, Xbox 360 with Tales of Vesperia was, like, the last one that got given a decent budget, and, like, the graphics have gotten worse and worse, and, like, as they...
Zestiria looks like a late era 360 game, even though it was in the middle of this gen.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's still more... You can explain that more than, like, Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to...
That was surprising to me, honestly.
What?
that?
And then
in
they're also
2019? It's a 2012 game!
they're also kind of getting a little bit outside of the box with Crossfire X. I know nobody... That was like a big what the fuck is this?
That was a game I had to Google as the conference was on. Like,
the only reason... I've got a friend who's Korean, and he plays in like the PC bongs, like the computer rooms there, and he's like, that's all they talk about over there. Like, that game is gigantic over there.
That's insane because
like,
that trailer...
The trailer that Microsoft played gave us Westerners no fucking clue what that game was.
Not at all.
No fucking clue.
That wasn't
Counter-Strike Online, basically.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, is this a game on PS2 from 2003? What the hell is going on?
God damn it, guys.
One at a time, guys.
What the fuck?
80 million people play that game across Asia.
Yeah.
Yo.
Okay, and want to talk about burying the lead? I googled that game. Fucking Remedy are developing the single player.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. What's
Remedy
that?
is Alan Wake and fucking.
They're making
Quantum
Control right
Break.
now.
Yeah, very atmospheric
ew.
story games. So I mean, in reference, in comparison, 80 million is like Fortnite numbers. You know what I mean? This is not like a little like indie developer. Like the way it was described to me is it's almost like a CS:GO kind of game over there.
Yeah.
Where like everybody just kind of gets together in like giant, communal groups and just plays it for hours and hours, and then gets online and tries to up their rank and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing, whether it'll cross over. A lot of people didn't think games like PUBG would, and then PUBG kind of exploded on the scene. So there's a chance. I mean, there's very few, tactical shooters out now these days. It's kind of a dying niche, especially on console. You see that less and less and less. I think Siege is probably the closest you get. But Siege is also kind of a very specific style of game as well.
This seems a little more flexible.
Yeah, what's weird is these games tend to be very popular in like Europe and Asia and places like that they never really catch on in the U.S. We were kind of always been more Call of Duty style shooters, So it'll be interesting to see if that's a kind of like a play for the Asian market, or if they're trying to get this style of game to be a little more popular here.
That's actually something I wanted to talk about. I'm not entirely sure whether Xbox is just really not a thing in Asia, and I can't tell whether they're trying to make more inroads there or whether they're trying to bring that stuff to the West.
That's my guess.
I gotta say, Xbox is not really a thing in Europe all that much.
Yeah. My guess is I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't think they're trying. I think they've given up, and I think this is look, you guys aren't playing these cool games that are in Asia and Europe because just nobody's brought them to you yet. So here you go. Maybe you'll like it because there's been little flashes of shooter games that have popped up in popularity, mostly because of streaming. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of Escape from Tarkov.
Heard of it, don't know anything about it.
So, like, that game had, it still might be having a little bit of popularity, but there's these weird games that pop up, and it's because streamers jump on it, and they play it for a couple months, and the games sell like hotcakes, and they just kind of fade into, the night. I'm wondering if that's kind of what Microsoft is recognizing and saying, okay, well, if we can be the exclusive person to bring this flash-in-the-pan game from Poland, just to pick on somebody here. So, like if there's just like a real cool Polish game that Americans aren't playing, well, here's your chance. It's going to be on Xbox,
Speaking of Polish games,
oh boy.
So Cyberpunk 2077 got shown off there with the help of a man whom some of you might know, named Keanu Reeves. So he just came out on stage at the Microsoft conference, and apparently he's going to be the NPC in the game with the most lines. He's going to be like this dude in your head.
The vocals that he recorded is shocking. I thought he'd be like you know what I mean? That's pretty substantial.
They got him in the booth for 15 days apparently.
So one thing about this, and I mean, I don't know if this is political or not, but like CDPR has got to stop shooting themselves in the foot in a lot of like weird ways. This controversy with this poster in game, I don't even know if it's necessary. I kind of saw what the artist was saying and trying to explain it and stuff, but like they don't have the best track record as is in being, kind of
their
like
marketing is shit. It's the market that seems to be horrible.
So as long as they can basically make some amends and distance themselves, it's not like a full-on Randy Pitchford thing, I hope, but hopefully they kind of rein some of that in, because it's starting to get like, okay, this was weird these first couple times. Now it's starting to kind of become a pattern, specifically kind of the transphobic kind of advertising, I guess, in game.
Trans person here. I don't really want to have to talk about the poster stuff again. Can we talk about the Voodoo Boys? Have you all heard about the Voodoo Boys? That this game has just a racist caricature of a gang running around?
Well, okay, so not in defense, but the game's based on a board game, and the guy who made it was a black guy.
No, and the Voodoo Boys aren't in the tabletop RPG, dude. Yeah. They're not.
I think the other gang is.
Okay.
I'm not. There was two gangs I think that people had a problem with, but yeah, I think that was he's done a lot with his blessing, so I don't know about that part of it, but it does seem weird that they have a gang based on race in that game. It seems kind of like they were going for like a post-racial kind of. It's more the mods versus non-modded people, I guess. It seems weird that they would kind of throw back to that weirdly out of nowhere.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just personally, I don't buy that they just keep making public mistakes and that they're doing their best. I think they have a specific ideology that's just not good, and that they're expressing that personally. But I just don't want to debate it.
No, that's fair.
No, maybe.
We
can just wait for the final.
What it boils down to for me, and I think I've made this point elsewhere, is that I advocate for freedom of expression with a sense of trust that people are going to use that freedom of expression to say something meaningful. And instead of saying something meaningful, they're not really exploring cyberpunk themes, just kind of using the trappings, and then on top of that, saying offensive things.
Yeah,
and I
that's
don't
a good way to put it.
trust them. And I don't think they're saying enough meaningful stuff for me to think that they're stumbling into these offensive things by accident.
I mean, but
I agree.
Let's say, a lot of problems, and I agree with that. I would also wait for the final game, because I agree that there's a lot of bullshit, and a lot of bullshit outside of the context of the game is also harmful. But
we have the final game of 3 Witcher games that plenty of people have criticisms on.
That is true. That is true.
I think some of it with Witcher 2 as well was how they responded to a lot of criticisms. Like, hey, there's not a lot of people of color in this game, and it kind of almost got defensive. Well, it's like, well, that's our world. Deal with it, you know? Like our world as in the world we created. So I think that kind of set people on edge a little bit. And then, of course, there was like the sex trading cards, and people were like, hey, maybe not the best idea. And, you know, like, it felt less like romance and more like conquest, and just kind of in general, like Geralt to me, like we've talked about The Witcher a lot here, you know, and like I love the game and I hate Geralt. I don't know how else to explain it. I just feel like it's like playing like the idea of like what a guy who like, I don't know, like the stereotypical gamer in his basement almost thinks is like a cool guy, you know? Like he goes around, just slays all these, you know, dragons and things, and then like all these women love him, but he can't get anybody pregnant, so it's kind of dark and brooding, you know, just weird. I don't know how to describe, but it doesn't ring like a romance would in like a BioWare game. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a romance, feel like a conquest. Yeah, I
hate the game, and I hate the everything about it. Actually,
how unpatriotic of you!
I also think that. I don't know. Poland is not the most, inclusive and like very open-minded place. So a lot of Polish writers writing a cyberpunk story that should have a lot of like inclusiveness and representative, you know. But yeah, it's just I saw that they were making cyberpunk, and I was from the get-go. I was like, oh, this is going to be trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
But Keanu.
Yeah.
Keanu.
So a bunch of other interesting stuff that got shown off at the Microsoft presser was a bunch of indie games, some which looked really interesting. Yeah. So they showed off.
Can we talk about the fact that they're making a fucking Blair Witch game in 2019?
Yes.
Well, that. Put that whole for a second while
it wasn't bad.
Okay,
they're releasing on the 20th anniversary of the movie, and yeah, I mean, speaking as someone who likes all 3 Blair Witch movies, which is a very
Wait, there's more than one Blair Witch movie.
The second one.
There are 2 sequels.
The second one is
I'll
very.
I'll go up on this hill with you. 3 was really good. The second one was a little weird, but
second was weird.
They're very different movies, but I will defend both of those sequels personally.
Fair enough.
I'm with you on 3. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that second one though, I don't know.
So,
but the point is, I'm intrigued by the game. I haven't tried the other stuff made by this developer, whose name I can't remember, but I know that they made other horror stuff. So yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot.
I'm excited for it. I thought the inclusion of a dog in a horror game, it seems so simple, and it's going to be one of those things, does the dog die, but I thought
the dog definitely dies.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting, the whole angle of the dog can detect spirits, because in the past, you've done it with a camera or an EKG, or you know what I mean? I think that's kind of an interesting angle to give it, that the dog's, it's a helper, it's a friend, but it's also, the way you see the ghosts, I'm guessing, is what it seemed to be like. A lot of really kind of creep out vibes from that game. I'm excited for it. Horror games are hard to come by.
So I haven't seen Blair Witch since it was new. There are ghosts in Blair Witch, I thought.
Okay. So spoiler alert for Blair Witch, the 2016 movie. There is a ghost monster in that one.
Wait, there's a Blair Witch movie in 2016?
Yes. Yeah, that was that's the third movie.
It was rebooted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all I was saying was, there was one ghost monster thing, which canonically is not the Blair Witch. They made a point of saying that, but there was a monster, so there is at least some ground within the existing material for them to do.
They're not just fucking throwing shit at a wall here.
Okay, that's good to know.
I'm still just so shocked that there's a Blair Witch game. That's.
I think it's an interesting.
Hey, if they do it well, then that's good.
Yeah.
Just go back to the indie stuff. The cool stuff they announced, they had Spiritfarer, which was like that 2D puzzle platforming-ish kind of game.
City Builder? Was there a city building?
No. That was in the...
Building.
Boat building.
Oh yeah, it's like town building. Yeah, like 2D town building.
Yeah, it looked like it's gonna be Animal Crossing, but if Animal Crossing had your NPCs die and you had to deal with it.
It did
Well,
look
they do it what everybody wants.
Yeah.
It looked
They also
very
had
That
12
was
minutes.
super weird because, fucking, have you played their other games? They are not that. That's
People
the team
making
that made Jotun and Sundered. So Jotun is just giant Dark Souls
made Jotun.
fight,
Yeah.
and Sundered
yeah.
is a hardcore Metroidvania borderline massacre platformer. And now they're doing Animal Crossing.
That's interesting. I didn't know they did.
All right, let's go for it.
Game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had 12 minutes, which was the
12
time
minutes.
loop game.
I want to talk
really
for a
good.
second about that one. That
Sure.
if they pull that off, that's going to be a indie game of the year type game. I have a feeling. It reminded me a little bit of remember Her Story. That's kind of what that style of game I think is a really interesting game where it's you're basically unraveling a mystery in certain order and stuff like that. I think that I watched it at first. I kind of didn't get what they were going for, but the more I read about it, I was like, wow, this sounds very intriguing.
It looks very ambitious, and I respect that. I will probably try to check it out. Personally, for me, when I found out that the player character was the husband, I was a little disappointed, but it just didn't seem like it was his story. But oh well.
Yeah, I didn't find that out either. That's weird because I thought it was about her not dying.
It's about the husband trying to unravel why his wife is being accused of murder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get that either.
It's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting premise.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Annapurna has published a lot of interesting stuff over the years, so I have faith. And then the other indie game that they showed off, which was announced several years ago, is a one-man game called Way to the Woods.
Oh, fuck that game.
What a one-teen game.
Oh yeah.
He's 19 or something.
Yeah, he's 19. He started the game when he was 16.
Yep.
That's the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that looked really cool. And that the fish animations, the fact that it's made by one person and the fish look like that's fucking incredible.
It's a fucking charming game, I'll tell you that. I can see that being a very I'm sure it'll be on every platform eventually, but that's going to be a phone game that people play for a million years probably.
For sure.
It looks really good. If he can pull it off, I'm super on board with that.
Games hardcore Journey vibes, but the stuff I liked about Journey, not the stuff I hated.
Sure. Okay, obligatory. They did put a car on stage again. This time it was made out of Legos. It was awesome.
Oh, that was awesome.
So yeah, there's fucking Lego in Forza now.
I love the fact that they showed the car first and it was all in mist and you couldn't tell it was made out of Lego. And then the Forza trailer started and the Forza trailer just starts like a normal trailer. And then the fucking Lego cars drive past. And then when the time it gets back, there's a close-up of the thing and it's a fucking Lego car. And
weren't they playing Everything is Awesome in the background?
Yeah.
Like
I loved it. I was
the
all
night
on board with
before
that.
the show. I was joking with someone on the. I think it was like I don't know how to say that name. They've got a red logo. I was joking like, how are they going to get a car on stage this year? Like just like because they all and it's a fucking Lego car. It's so good.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was it was for a stunt that I've always mocked. So like I found that really endearing. I'll still never play Forza 4, but but I did enjoy
Has
that.
anyone played the Lego stuff yet?
No, it just released, and I've got it on. Well, I've got Game Pass. So I've got, I guess, pretty much every game ever right now. But
You have to buy the Lego stuff separately.
I'm gonna. Oh, you do?
I want to quickly point out about Way to the Woods. This is a big deal. We talked about it's a one boy game that he successfully got the musicians that do the music for Steven Universe to do the score of, and that's insane.
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I'm like 10 years older than this guy. I haven't accomplished jack shit.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of Xbox Game Pass, let's come to PC.
Lego
Sure.
for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, I was
We have
playing
no
it
organization
last
whatsoever.
night. Like, I played the Lego game last night, and it's really, really good. Holy shit!
Which
like,
Lego game?
The Forza one?
Lego
The
Forza.
Forza one. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because they did Hot Wheels in Forza 3, right? And basically, what that was is they just put like Hot Wheels tracks all over the like normal map. So it was like a modification to the normal map and everything. In this one, if you're going to play it, Kappa, you have to actually play a fair bit into Forza 4 until you like unlock the actual like proper open world stuff, and then you can go to it. And it's just like a whole new map you go to. It's like this weird half, because it's not all Lego. It's like a half combination of Lego and super realistic stuff. So you'll be like driving through like a realistic field with realistic grass, with like Lego sheep jumping out of the way and a Lego
It's really
tree.
smart.
It's
Like, 'cause you get the
so
contrast.
Real. It's like just the most bizarre feeling. And they've also just like, because Forza Horizons are more arcadey than Forza, but they're still like trying to be like kind of like realistic and like a real world kind of thing and everything. In this, they've just gone like, nah, fuck it. There are these like giant ramps all over the thing that have boosts that make you like jump a kilometer across the map and shit. It's so much fun.
How many is that in freedom units, though? Just mess with you.
Like, I think it's like half a mile.
Half a mile, yeah. I'm just messing with you.
I have no idea. Your units are dumb and I hate them.
It took me so long to get that joke, and I've been living in the States for nearly a decade now. So, yeah, we have Xbox Game Pass on PC now, which is an interesting move from Microsoft. They're pushing back. It seems to me that they're legitimately pushing back into PC gaming as opposed to whatever false commitments they made to PC at the start of this gen.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I definitely
This is
did
a
talk about that.
weird thing. You have Games Pass, right, Kappa?
Yep, I do. I have that, as well as the Ultimate Bundle now, I guess.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
so-
bundle is an insane deal.
It's-
Holy shit!
I don't know how you could own a gaming PC legitimately and not have that bundle. It's just like, hey, would you like to play every game for fucking $4, basically? Like, yeah, I think I would.
I don't computer gaming and I don't have an Xbox, and yet I want that bundle somehow.
I think
When I get my new PC, I'll sell out for it.
any kind of like, is Microsoft really in or out on PC gaming, to me went out the window when they announced Master Chief for PC. That's always been their holy grail, right? Back to what would make any person buy a Xbox. It's always been Halo, right? So now if they're like, fine, it's on PC, that to me is like, no, really, this time we're serious. We're on board with PC gaming. But when I saw what they were able to get on there on Games Pass, it wasn't like a bunch of like really, don't take this the wrong way, Merve, but like it wasn't a bunch of like 7-year-old indie games. They got Metro Exodus on there and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Which was I think a bigger get than most people might realize, because a lot of people.
Metro's an Epic Store exclusive.
Yes, that's the
Like,
thing. A lot of people steered clear of it because it was an Epic Store exclusive. So now you can get it for $1. There's a lot of interesting stuff that Microsoft's doing. Putting like, I think they announced that Master Chief Collection is going to be on Steam as well.
Yep.
It is on Steam. I have it wishlisted there.
So getting away from the Xbox Store. I mean, everything they're they're finally putting their money where their mouth is. Where, yeah, we're gonna get back into PC gaming, but you got to use our weird store, or you've got to, do this play anywhere thing and buy it on Xbox, and then we'll let you play it on PC. This feels like, okay, fuck all that, we're all in now. It's a pass that's dirt cheap and gives you a trillion games, and we're gonna give you Halo. I don't know how. The most excited I was during the show was when they announced PC Game Pass. So I don't know what that says, but
the way I see it is that they have finally realized that they make money off sales on other platforms.
Yep.
Right, and they make a lot of money potentially. Like they've seen what my guess is that they saw what happened with Minecraft, where they're like, oh shit, we're making so much money off like PlayStation and Switch owners buying Minecraft, and they realized, wait, we can just put our games wherever the fuck we want, and we'll make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Which, has been my argument for Nintendo forever, right? I mean, but they're not going to do that just yet, don't get me
Nintendo
wrong.
needs
But
the exclusivity, not in the way that Microsoft does it.
But I was really excited about PC Game Pass. I think most people who aren't, just complete, anti-Microsoft or super Sony fanboys or whatever could at least look at that deal and be like, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And if everybody offered that kind of deal, I'd be excited about it. So to me, that was
talk about like what made you think Microsoft getting back into fucking PC gaming. Fucking Flight Simulator, holy shit!
Oh yeah, they've announced a new Flight Simulator.
That was
amazing.
very pretty, very pretty.
If you'd asked me like a week ago, hey Ben, are you excited for Flight Simulator? No, turns out I really am.
There was an article after the fact that somebody did about basically how technologically impressive this new Flight Simulator is. It apparently streams up to 50 pentaterabytes or something of satellite data, and you can fly over individual cities in the game, and they've mapped it to the street. That's some crazy shit. I don't know.
So it's going to use cloud capabilities? Is that how they're doing it?
Yeah, I don't know how it does.
That's how you sell people on cloud gaming, not fucking whatever Stadia is doing. Yeah, this is something that cloud gaming is useful for that you couldn't process on a regular PC, right? That's the kind of shit that the cloud gaming should be using.
Well, they fly over those castles, and they're in the. Oh man, it just looks so good. I would love to kind of just sit down and figure out.
Yeah, because they're doing the satellite streaming shit and everything, obviously, but there has to be some authored shit there, because, you see them flying over Africa and there's, animals walking around and shit.
And when they did, that loop over the pyramids, and you could see, individual cars, moving along the streets and stuff, that was pretty cool. I don't know if it's just, a trick. Yeah, but it was a really pretty good... That, and I think Ori, we're probably there, too. But we all knew Ori was going to look good, but,
yeah.
And Ori isn't even, a technical showcase. Ori is just those artists are fucking amazing.
Yeah, they really put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
So Ori is basically as technically advanced as Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country looks pretty good, though.
Well, since we talked about Microsoft, I guess we can end the E3 discussion, right? There wasn't pretty much an...
Yeah, no, good.
During Microsoft, there was also Elden Ring, which was just a snippet of...
Yeah.
The new From Software game written by George R.R. Martin. So that's going to be a thing.
Be excited for that later when they show me a fucking game.
Yeah. Well, Elden Ring's probably not coming until 2021, based on Sekiro's production schedule. So it's gonna be a while before we actually see what we care about.
It's one of those things that I really wish wasn't leaked. You know what I mean?
It would be. Yeah.
Also, I do want to say they were clear about what exactly Martin contributed. He wrote the lore, he wrote the background stuff that's always good. That's gonna be given through environmental storytelling. He did not do this.
Damn it!
So finally, it's gonna be.
I think that's the smartest thing they could do with him, because that's what he's good at. He's good at the background shit.
I'm glad that it's not going to be just heavy cutscenes and shit, because that would kill my interest.
I just don't want it to be.
Way.
I just don't want it to be another game where there's some corruption that has blighted the land.
No, you know what? I do
swamp.
want that. I do want that.
Yeah, I'm with Science. I totally want that.
Yeah.
I played one From Software game. I was like, this is too much.
You played them all.
This is fucking
Yeah.
cliche.
And I want to play more of them. So.
Yeah,
That's fair.
meanwhile, I fell in love with Bloodborne this year, and I bought all 3 Dark Souls games.
Yeah!
Fuck yeah.
Yes!
Sekiro.
One of us!
All right, so that was Microsoft. I guess now we can move on to Bethesda.
Why?
First thing we need to talk about in the Bethesda show, that screaming dude in the crowd was my favorite
guy?
part of E3.
God.
He wasn't a plant, right? I think
Yeah,
He was
that
not a
was-
plant.
yeah.
Okay,
Look,
He was-
I looked it up.
See the people on stage
I'll
getting
let her
sick of
say it,
him.
since he did the research.
So I looked it up. He's not a Bethesda employee, not a plant. He was just all the conferences invite influencers and streamers. He's an influencer who's partnered with Bethesda on The Elder Scrolls Online. It's not like receiving a paycheck from them. It's more like, oh yeah, here's some exclusive TES content. You can stream it. So he's just a Bethesda fanboy.
Yeah,
That's
so
all
he
it
was
is.
Yeah.
given a bribe.
Good for him then. If he was legitimately that excited as he sounded, good for him.
I hate his
Damn.
guns so much.
He was the only
Aw.
thing that kept me sane through that awful show. 'Cause that
So
was
I think I said this elsewhere, but I'll repeat it. Bethesda's conference was not the worst E3 conference I've ever seen, but it was the most contemptible E3
No.
conference I've ever seen.
I wouldn't.
They
That
just
was-
don't need their own conference anymore.
Hey-
Just announce your games with everybody else.
Hubristic
I
nonsense.
would like to disagree with that because that was the worst E3 fucking show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Boring.
it was there. Like you said, it was hubristic, and that's exactly how I'd put it. They claim to have invented the first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's arguable that id even invented the first-person shooter,
Yeah.
and if they did it before they got bought by Bethesda.
Yeah, literally
Bethesda didn't
decades.
invent jack fucking
that
shit.
That wasn't the hubristic bit. The hubristic bit
Well,
was
it
the
was,
people
but
they
also-
kept talking about. Like, they kept on having, like, the close-ups of those people sitting in a void, and there was
Oh,
dude who was
God.
like, oh, fucking Skyrim basically got me through cancer, and the other one
Yeah.
was like, oh, it cured my depression, and it's like, holy fuck, Bethesda!
That was really weird.
That is
Yeah,
fucking
no.
tone deaf.
Remember
Yeah.
last year though that I actually kind of like what they did last year a little bit better, where they had the employees talk about like how they loved making games for people and how what I mean, like that to me felt a little more
really
genuine.
don't think it was hubristic. I think that what they were trying to do is they were trying to get back on the side of fans. Like, oh yeah,
Oh,
we know
they
we
failed,
fucked up.
but-
Yeah, they failed, but it was obvious that it wasn't. It wasn't like, oh, we're so absolutely hot shit. It was like, hey, remember the good times, guys? Remember before everything went to shit? Remember
made fun
how we
games.
had fun? Remember that?
Well,
Remember
that's-
that?
The
So,
crowd
how-
at that
how-
show, though,
yeah.
I swear to God, they've lived the past year in an alternate reality. Like, when Todd Howard and Fallout 76 get, like, standing ovations, what the
Yeah.
fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I-
so
I
the
feel
big
kind
Fallout
of
76
bad for them a little bit because they have been harassed a lot because of a video game. Like they don't
Oh, yeah.
own fans. Like they don't owe fans anything. Like the reviews are there. The people bought the game. They either like it or not. But being harassed by people, and there was a lot of shit coming their way, and I felt kind
they
of
don't
bad for
deserve that.
developers. Yeah,
If,
and
if I
felt
was
for that.
Todd Howard, I would have walked out on stage and said, "Hey, Fallout 76 better than Anthem." Just walked off stage.
But it's not. That's the problem. It's not even better than
I
Anthem.
think it is.
It fucking sucks all around. So here's the big Fallout 76 announcement. Oh, there are two announcements. First, they're adding a battle royale mode because of course they are.
Yeah.
And second, Fallout 76 is getting NPCs.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the lamest
That's
shit.
the thing which they push so hard is this
Yeah.
is totally our plan all along,
This is
guys.
2019, and the one thing that they're saying about their game to fix it is that they're putting NPCs in their game. That's nothing.
Battle Royale thing cracked me up because I remember when Fallout 76 was like first being leaked and rumored and shit, and everyone's like, oh god, it's gonna be a Fallout Battle Royale, isn't it? Oh god, they're gonna ruin Fallout. And then there was a little bit of relief when it turned out it wasn't a Battle Royale. They were like, psych, it's a Battle Royale now, motherfuckers!
Yeah, but Fallout 76 came out, and everybody was like, "Oh man, this is worse than Battle Royale." And then they were like, "Wait, we do have Battle Royale." So they're trying to get back. I don't know.
I actually want to see a Battle Royale with a legit VAT system. That would be really funny. It wouldn't fucking work.
With
I
the
don't-
really funny.
ass engine.
Yeah.
I just never saw the appeal of Fallout 76, and I don't know. It was so weird. Like I thought only like hardcore fans were into Fallout 76 because like there was almost nothing there, and even when they like previewed it, there was nothing.
I think there's like an interesting space if you could maybe get like, let's say like a server full of people who wanted like maybe like hardcore role play. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I think,
Yeah, that's hard to do, and that's such a niche thing.
yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, no way. So
That's why Todd Howard made that joke about griefers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But
Yeah.
Oh,
Wolfenstein is
God.
the other one I wanted to talk about real quick. I don't know. Like, I want to be excited for Wolfenstein because it's always fun to kill Nazis. Don't get me wrong, but like, does it feel like the story just is like just basically spinning its wheels and not really knowing where to go?
I don't
and,
think this story was always the most important thing about Wolfenstein.
But the
it was
original
important.
story is
The
what
New
brought
Order.
me back. I mean, honestly, like if it was just a frag fest,
It doesn't have to be a frag fest, but it's always very pulpy, right? It's
yeah,
always
I'm fine with pulpy, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of just feels like,
Like,
okay, well,
I
we
didn't
beat the
actually-
Nazis in the 50s. Now we've beat the Nazis in the 60s. Now we're
Oh,
beating,
that's what you mean. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I-
a little bit.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I was clear last time. I haven't tried this series at all. I'm speaking totally secondhand. But as far as I can tell, like, they are sticking with the consequences of like the Nazis aren't in America anymore, which is why the new one's in Europe. They did have a victory that stuck. It's just that the Nazis were completely destabilized, which seems fair to me. But again, I'm speaking from a distance, so that's all I can say.
I guess, but when you more of like, I guess when you play it, it's kind of like this is the guy you're gonna kill is like the worst Nazi ever. And if we take him down, like you know what I mean, like
Okay,
it's always
fair
kind of
enough.
presented
wait,
to you.
no,
It's
sorry.
also
That's not what happens in Wolfenstein 2, though. You're not taking
But-
down like the worst Nazi.
Yeah, you're just breaking them apart.
Taking
But
down
then,
But isn't it
Colossus
funny?
Kind of.
Isn't it funny that the new Colossus thing was like, hey, Nazis took over America, isn't that weird? And now this one is like, oh, Nazis in Europe, isn't that weird? No, it's not! It's really not!
No, it's certainly not. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
Still like
guess
Nazis in Australia. Just
Yeah.
switch it up a bit.
looking for a narrative in Wolfenstein probably isn't something to be doing. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably get it on sale like I did the other ones and just get halfway through. I hope the stealth mechanics are DOA because that was the worst thing they've done. But yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to get excited about Wolfenstein. Honestly, it's just not there for me.
So I was excited, and then they announced. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel weird about Wolfenstein because I played, what was the first reboot, New Order, was it?
New
Yeah.
Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played that. I really loved it. I bought Wolfenstein 2 when it came out, and it is sitting on my desk in front of me still in shrink wrap. Like,
It's not
I
great. I'm gonna be
should
honest.
play it, I guess,
I don't
but
really
like,
like it.
Old Blood was the lowest for me so far. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's people's things, cool. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if they've made any converts with what they've kind of set the thing in Europe
We're
with
about to
They
talk
made
about Merv's
converts.
favorite game, and I'm excited to hear this.
is the Commander
Okay,
team.
so we'll get there in a second. What I will say about Wolfenstein Youngblood is I was excited until they announced that this single-player game has microtransactions.
Yeah.
So that's,
Isn't
the Dead Space 3 it.
Isn't everything chock full of microtransactions nowadays?
The
I'm
Dead
at
Space
the point
3
where,
it
like,
now.
I don't even care anymore. I've played
Yeah.
so many single-player games that are full of microtransactions that it's so easy to ignore until
Yeah,
I
I
hear that
kind of
they're
feel
actually-
defeated.
I will say
They won. They
I'm with-
won.
I'm with you guys 99% of the time. I think I'm probably the most pro microtransaction person on the planet, but I don't like the shortcuts in a single player game that's only 10 hours long. That just seems weird to me. That seems,
See, that's the
again,
thing. I played Devil May Cry 5, and that has, like, you can buy fucking microtransaction red orb shit to level your character up and everything, and it's just, you just don't, and it's
Yeah.
fine. Like, and that game's not very hard.
I imagine most people are going to choose not to in this game as well, but
Yeah, they're just looking to.
It's
to, like,
always
capture the
annoying,
whales.
though. I agree with
Yeah.
that. It's annoying.
Yeah.
That's
unnecessary.
Like
I
Mortal
think the big
Kombat,
thing.
when you started up Mortal Kombat, it was always on the main menu, the first thing that you see, it's like, hey, buy this shit with real money. I'm like, no, I just want to play the fucking game.
That game got like so trashed for being microtransaction heavy, and it's just not. Like, the microtransactions don't do fucking anything in that game.
Wasn't there like an economy patch though, like early on? Like
no, how
there
that
was
works
some
is there's like 4 different currencies. One of them is a microtransaction currency, but you can't buy shit with the microtransaction currency. Like you can buy.
I agree with you, but why the? I agree with you, but why the hell?
One at a time, children.
4 currencies, like what the hell? What are we doing in one game? Why?
In a fighting game, I mean,
what's the
if
word?
MMO,
You should have.
That game does have like a full like third-person adventure puzzle game in it.
What? Okay, so games should have one currency, and that currency is called money.
Yeah, that's my.
Look at Merve coming out as anti-StarCraft. What you got against Vespine, buddy?
The only thing I know about StarCraft is fucking pylons. I don't know shit about that game.
It shouldn't be money because Mortal Kombat's main currency is coin spelled with a K, and that's the
Oh
best
Christ!
thing
Because it's cool with a K.
What all that tells me is that we need to replace actual money with coins with a K.
Yeah. Bitcoins with a K.
Like you get your head off for more coins.
God.
God, you want this like fucking purge world where you just kill each other for money. Okay, so 2 game announcements at Bethesda's conference.
Yes.
There was Deathloop, which is a new game from Arcane. No gameplay, just cinematic trailer. Also, Ghostwire Tokyo, same just cinematic trailer.
Also,
But the announcement was made by a game director at Tango Gameworks, Ikumi Nakamura, who was very enthusiastic, and that was like the bright spot of the show.
She was great.
She seems very enthusiastic. Very, very cool.
Which is good. I like seeing people enthusiastic.
So, like, I know I was just giving absolute shit for like, oh my god, they're not showing any gameplay and everything, and they did the exact same thing. I know. But fuck that, I'm so excited for that game. Like,
I definitely want to wait until I see gameplay for Deathloop and Ghostwire, but I am excited.
The style is cool, but anything except for that, no idea.
That I'm excited for Tango to stop making horror games, because Shinji Mikami makes the best action games in the fucking world, and they haven't let him make one.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is like Shinji Mikami's protege directing a game, which is I think really cool.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Shinji Mikami's protege who fucking worked on Akami and Bayonetta making an action game. Like, holy
yes,
shit.
Please.
She seems to be very like interested in the like basically like almost like not selling the game, but getting people as excited about the game as she is. And I think that's a really fucking cool thing for a developer to do. You know,
interviews with her about other shit.
Yes.
Like the fucking interview with her about the dude with the safe head in what's their other game?
Evil.
The Evil Within.
Yeah.
And they talk about like, oh, he's so ethereal and like disappears out everywhere. And she's like, yeah, I hate it. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I wanted everyone to be physical in the world, but someone made that, and it's like, I hate it. And Shinji Mikami just sitting next to her, trying not to piss himself laughing. And it's maybe my favorite game interview I've ever seen.
And she's talked about how she watched Hellraiser religiously every day as a tiny child, and that is her main influence for games.
Wow.
Oh, she's so cool. There's a fucking photo of her from, I think it was her Instagram and everything, that's just her redoing a shot from that I Am a Hero manga, sitting in the middle of her room with a shotgun on her shoulder eating noodles.
Yes. She's delightful.
All right, so it seems like it's gonna be a fun game. What's not gonna be a fun game is that they finally announced a new Commander Keen game, which I've been waiting for many years.
It hurts.
Why did you wait for Commander Keen?
let me get there. So let me get there.
Okay, so
I'm getting there.
Yes, okay.
So for a lot of, I didn't grow up with a console. I grew up on PC. And for people who grew up on consoles, their iconic gaming characters, usually Mario or Sonic. For me, the game that I grew up with, having been born at the start of the 90s, was Commander Keen. That was my Mario.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
I
so
grew up with PCs too, and first platform game was John Romero's Dangerous Day from 1988, and that game was garbage, and I
think
can
mine was-
recognize that game as garbage right now.
Commander
Right,
Keen is
I'll-
not garbage though. Commander Keen
Commander
still holds
Commander
up.
Keen ain't great. Like, let's look
Commander-
at facts here.
Fuck you, man. Commander Keen holds up.
Nah.
Anyway,
It's like
Eat my shorts.
Okay, you're going to say Dizzy holds up also? Like, what are you?
No Halloween Harry, I'll tell you that.
fuck all y'all. Commander Keen is great. So what I'll say is, I wasn't expecting them to revive the Commander Keen license. Was not expecting them to revive it as a mobile free-to-play puzzle platformer with whatever the fuck that art style is.
I love
I
the
don't-
art style, I've got to say. Like, I think the game looks trash, and I'm upset because I love Commander Game, but I think it looks, like, visually, it looks amazing.
Yeah, the art's charming. I have no attachment to Commander Keen. The only thing that was offensive to me about that part of the presentation was all the fucking disgusting marketing lingo of "get your anus into space" or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Get rid.
Yeah, well, every fucking thing about that like 5 minutes of the Bethesda conference set me on edge personally. But that's just because Commander Keen is like my gaming icon. It's
That's
the
valid.
reason
That's valid.
that I still play video games today.
Okay.
Would
So
you like
seeing
me to
that
tell you
property
about-
destroyed.
Sit down and let me tell you about Command and Conquer and what happened to that once mighty franchise.
Yeah,
got a mobile game
I
last
feel for
year.
people.
Fucking, like, one thing I will say that I loved about the Commander Keen trailer thing is they doubled down on the fact that he's BJ Blazkowicz's grandson.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
so
Which is a lore thing.
Everyone's favorite thing, the Bethesda cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the cinematic universe, because if they're doubling down on that, that means that little boy you play as in the game is the fucking Doomslayer.
Yeah.
And and one of the women in the new Wolfenstein presumably is his mom, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a picture
Yeah.
of those two girls on their wall in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Huh.
an old black and white photo of BJ Blazkowicz, and then there's the photo of the two twins from
We
the
haven't
new one.
yet talked about the Doomslayer. have
Yeah,
we?
they're all related to the Doom guy somehow too. I don't remember how,
No,
but
because
I think
the little kid
Billy-
in that game is the Doomslayer. Doomslayer
Oh.
is Commander Keen's son.
yeah.
Yeah, Billy Blaze is supposed to be Doom Guy's father, I believe.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe he's the brother of the
You
Doomslayer.
just put more effort into figuring that out than they probably put writing it.
Yeah, so that was Bethesda's conference.
Oh yeah, no, we haven't talked about Doom.
What?
Oh, yeah, Doom Eternal happened.
I will say one thing.
Sure.
Doom's asymmetrical multiplayer mode, which is basically just Left 4 Dead, but it still looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
yeah.
I think asymmetrical gameplay, I think it suffered kind of a weird setback when Evolve kind of fell apart.
Oh
but
god, yeah.
I think Evolve was a
Except
better
it was
game.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've played a
time
lot
children.
of it. I just think it was a better game than people might have thought. With Evolve, kind of where they went wrong is selling like the characters individually and kind of selling these weird packs and modes and stuff like that. But the game itself was pretty solid. So I'm hoping asymmetrical stuff doesn't go away. It's very popular right now,
Yeah.
streaming, of course.
Yeah.
But more the horror stuff. The what is it, Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
The
Not-
Dead Daylight, the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Friday the 13th game died weirdly. I think there was like some rights issue or something with that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Dude
Yep.
that wrote the original script, the original is suing the company that owns Friday the 13th for rights and everything. The Friday the 13th game is still alive. They're just not allowed to develop any more content for it.
Yeah, so I mean, those are kind of. I think that's a great point though. That asymmetrical games and Doom's does look good. I think there's still kind of a future for it, but it's you got to do the pricing model right. It's got to be equally fun to play the monster as it is to play the hunters, victims, whatever you want to call
sure.
them.
Also, we should point out the people. Sorry, the people who made the Friday the 13th game, Gun Media, which is a annoying name, but whatever. They're making a Predator game, but that's probably also going to be asymmetrical multiplayer. So
Did they actually have the license for this one?
yes, yeah, they actually got it legally this time. Yeah.
Learn their
Well,
lesson.
okay.
They were fine
I'm-
with it.
I-
They had the legal license for the Friday the 13th one. It's the people that licensed it out to them got sued.
Yeah.
And weren't
Yeah.
allowed to
Oh,
That is
okay.
make
true.
any
Yeah.
more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and then
so-
They specifically licensed like stuff from the movies, and then when they started to get into trouble, I think is when they started to do like Jason's mom or like skin packs that were from like specific other movies. I think is what it was.
Okay, yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, we can't do any more content basically until this gets resolved. And I think it just kind of slowly faded out. But no, I like that you made that point, Bones, because that was one of the things I noted was like, cool. I hope this makes a comeback because. Asymmetrical games seemed like they were about to be a thing, and then I think Evolve cratered so hard. Left 4 Dead, I think, was probably some of the most fun I've had playing a video game with friends when it first came out.
I think we're all missing, though, the best asymmetrical multiplayer shooter game ever was Turok 2.
Wait, you could play as a dinosaur in that game?
Yes!
You played as a raptor.
Was a character in the multiplayer thing, and it couldn't use guns, but it had one-hit kill and could blend into shadows really well.
Well,
and
Ben, you can...
best shit in the world.
You're going to be able to play Turok 2 on the Switch pretty soon, so there you go.
You joke? I am so excited.
I'm not joking. I'm good for you, man.
All right, so that was Bethesda. Let's move on now.
Are we just going to completely skip over the 26 mobile games they announced?
Yes.
Okay.
They announced mobile games?
Unanimous vote.
Well, they mostly talked about old mobile games, actually.
Oh, yeah, like Elder Scrolls Blades. Who the fuck cares?
Elder Scrolls Blades.
Card game. There was a fucking...
Elder Scrolls Legends is the card game, and that game came out in 2017. Just so we're clear.
Yeah,
they didn't even reveal a new update for it.
They did have.
They just advertised it.
Yeah.
That one last thing they did talk about, very confusingly, was their streaming tech, Project Orion, but they didn't explain what the fuck it was. So who gives a flying fuck?
They set up their 10 minutes and said nothing.
Yeah.
They said jack shit, and they hilariously backstabbed Google in the process, basically. By saying, we have all the same games we gave Google. They have no exclusivity. Sorry.
No, it's fine. What's interesting is like, I think we talked about a couple weeks back, maybe when the first Stadia thing kind of came out, is like, it's weird because what backbones, or I don't know enough about servers, you might know more than me, Merve, but like, it seems like there's only a couple names in this whole game, and like, it's Microsoft, it's, Amazon, it's Google, and it's maybe Facebook, as far as who's got a shitload of servers to do stuff with. So I mean, I'm sure Bethesda's running off of one of those. So I don't know why they made a big deal.
Bethesda's thing wasn't their own streaming service. I thought it's an engine add-on they could put onto engines to make it interface better with the streaming servers.
I mean, honestly, you say so? Because
that's the
I
thing.
have no clue.
That's the thing. They spent 10 minutes not clarifying what the fuck it was.
I have to take you at your word, yeah.
Like, that's what I took away from it, and then they didn't explain how that works at all, and just said a bunch, like, the problem is, I know enough about what they said to know that what they said made no sense.
I don't even know that. I was just like, all right.
Okay, you know what this reminded me of? You guys know that did you guys ever watch Better Off Ted?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So you know that Jabberwocky episode where they announced Jabberwocky, nobody knows what the fuck it was because it's just a project that Ted made up to cover for something else. It was the fucking Jabberwocky.
I was actually
That's
going to
what it was.
reference that exact bit of Better Off Ted about something later in the E3 show.
Excellent.
All right, so we'll bring it back. Jabberwocky applies to a lot of E3. So that was Bethesda. I don't know why we talked about Bethesda for so long because fuck Bethesda. Their conference sucked. Let's move on to PC Gaming Show.
Before we do Ubisoft and PC Gaming, can we just try to do Devolver for a little bit? I'm just so happy about Devolver.
Okay, let's talk about it for like 5 minutes.
It's the best show of the fucking thing, and it is every
Very
time.
good. Yeah.
It was all right. They didn't announce anything that I really cared about.
It's the best thing in E3, like hands down.
Yeah, I think this was Devolver's best one yet because they continue to know what to target at the right time with doing the Devolver Direct idea, and they're also developing their own narrative in smart ways by giving Nina Struthers a villain to bounce off of. That was very smart.
Go ahead.
I'm probably not gonna okay. So Carrion looks amazing. It's a Metroidvania where you're a giant tentacle monster just rampaging around. Like I'm super fucking into that. I have no idea what I'll be able to play it on. That looks good. Fall Guys looks fun as shit.
Fall Guys is
they
the
also-
first time I've cared about a Battle Royale game. Like,
Yeah.
Battle Royale Takeshi's Castle? Fuck yes!
Yeah.
I will say the really interesting thing they did was they announced a bootleg collection of their own games, and it's an actual thing that you can buy on Steam.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and buy. What were some of them that they were parodying? Like
House-
Hotline Milwaukee was one of them.
Hotline Milwaukee, House of the Gun, or Enter the Gun Dungeon. House of the Gun Dead's the other one. So,
Alright,
There's
so-
Castlevania or something.
Castlevania, Ape Out
Cat-
Junior.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of clever. I
It's
think.
fun.
Also, like, just to touch on it very quickly, I know I'm the only person to watch the pre-show after that goes for 12 hours.
Yes.
That's maybe the best piece of media released every year.
I registered like
Wait.
500 clicks on Twitch until I had to give up.
The way that, like, I've never felt something was targeted specifically to me as that. They had, fucking Brian Cage showed up, like, my second favorite wrestler in the world who I want to marry. They kept cutting back to this fucking wrestling match that was a battle royale where everyone was dressed up as kaijus and the ring was filled with tiny little buildings for them to smash each other with. Like, oh,
They're just creative, delightful people. And I want to add one more thing onto that, which is, so yeah, they announced a completely original new arcade cabinet that they built and are selling, which is a light gun game called House of the Gun Dead. And as someone who objectively will probably never be able to access that, but grew up loving light gun games, I just think it's cool. That's just a cool thing to invest in and to come up with. Like it's just admirable.
that's a thing when Nina Struthers stood there for a minute afterwards saying, this
Yes.
is real, this is definitely real, this is real. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is this real?
I wish, I think it was so amazing to be their first one. Their second was pretty good. But I don't know if this is going to make sense, but, like, I wish I was excited about the games as I was the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I watched the show, I'm getting, I really enjoy it, I like it, and then, like, I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, they also make video games. This isn't just, like, an Adult Swim comedy program, like...
That's the thing, what's it called? Pedro?
My
That's
friend
probably, like,
Pedro.
my most anticipated game of the year. That looks
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
I've been
probably-
excited about their games in the past. I was really excited about Ruiner. I kind of really couldn't get into it. And there's been games that they've done that I've been interested in. It's just that they all kind of have that, I don't know how to explain it. Edgy,
like that
indie.
ramshackle in like very ludically focused indie vibe. Yeah, I get it. It's not really targeted at me, but I understand why people are excited by it. So
Sure.
I'll give them that. Yeah.
Like, I've been playing nothing but Devolver games on my Switch for like, the past 2 weeks, so I'm kind of into it. Ape Out is amazing, by the way. Everyone should play that.
Yeah, I really want to play Ape Out. I'll get around to it.
All right, so that was Devolver. Let's talk about the PC gaming show, which was, I believe, the first conference. I mean, they had a VR conference earlier today, but forget about
Did
it.
anyone
We're short on
fucking
time.
watch that? It was bad.
I
VR is
think
bad.
Bones watched it. In any case, the PC gaming show happened on the Monday, and they showed off a bunch of stuff. Some of it interesting, some of it less interesting. They announced a sequel to Chivalry 2. They announced Starmancer, which is a new colony management game. Showed off Unexplored 2, Mosaic. A lot of indie-type games look really cool. Chris Tales has a cool art style, same with Genesis Noir. There's new footage of Telling Lies. We mentioned her story earlier. This is, I guess, kind of a spiritual sequel, also by Sam Barlow. It's also an FMV game. Dota 2 is officially spinning off auto chess into its own thing.
Why?
Don't know. I don't know, but let Valve do what Valve does. And at some point, one of the hosts appeared in a shark costume.
Yeah.
So that was basically the PC gaming show in a nutshell. I don't know if there's anything specifically you guys want
It's
to...
so unfocused.
mention.
It's so, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not a bad idea. Don't get me wrong. I like that PC, tries to fight for equal time, but it's so unfocused and just, here's just a bunch of shit, I'm not shit in a bad way, but just, like, take all this stuff in. And, it should be catered, that's my market. I should be really interested in it. But every year I kind of, like, I watch it 2 days later when I remember, oh, yeah, it's a thing. It's not like prime time viewing.
I think the best thing PC Show had going for it this year is it came after the Bethesda show, and there's no way it could be that. Like, at that point, my expectations were so fucking low, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Well,
It wasn't even a bad show this year.
No, it's fine.
They showed off.
It
It
was
was paced fine. They showed off interesting stuff. It's just, I don't know, there's not much coherence to the show.
That's what I'd say too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's put together just like, okay, now this guy walks up and talks about this totally unrelated thing, and then this guy walks up and then he talks about something. It's like, and there's even that indie thing now after, I can't remember what it's called, Very Funny.
It's the kind of funny show.
Yeah. So I mean, like, even that kind of steals some of the thunder. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if PC gaming show needs its own thing anymore, other than for Intel to throw around some money. But I'd really be interested.
You can see an ad for a chair though, so like.
I'd be more interested if they kind of focused it around less about maybe like new PC games or stuff like that, and more about maybe a little bit about technology. Where are video cards going? Where, what's the news thing in RAM or something like that? That might be a little bit more interesting. It might be a little more niche.
They did a bit of that this year.
That sounds like the most boring thing in the world to me, and I completely agree with you. It's what they should do, because that would actually appeal to someone.
That's the way I would put it too. Like, there's more of a chance of somebody watching to be like, oh shit, new RAM, than there is, okay, here's a game that's going to be talked about by 5 other developers, but just from one weird angle. That'd be my...
Like, they showed off Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, they didn't show off any footage because no gameplay footage has been released, but they talked about Baldur's Gate 3 there, and I'm like, well, I already heard about it at the Stadia conference. Why do I need to hear about this again? Shenmue 3 was there for some reason. But still looking like garbage.
Hardcore PC gamers are always going to have that hardware component, that console people just zone out on. Do you know what I mean? So why not lean into that and be like, hey, look, nobody else at this show is talking this shit in your language to you, but look, here's the new Radeon, G7 3000, and here's what it can do, and here's what it can perform, and here's what ray tracing looks like in practical terms. Just really kind of just. Yeah, we know this shit is ultra, to a very specific audience, but let's go ahead and give them, because how are you going to be a PC gamer without building a gaming PC, And I mean, that's the most expensive and, the biggest step for it. So if you want to sell new people on it, that's one way. But for the people who are already in it, at least give them something to be excited about that they're not going to get from Sony or Microsoft or one of a million other things.
About, here's what ray tracing looks like would actually have been really amazing, because I was explaining to so many people what ray tracing was who thought it was just a meaningless buzz term.
Yeah, it looks great.
Ray tracing is amazing. I had that fucking Digital Foundry Minecraft with ray tracing video hot link ready to go, because that's just amazing.
It's one of those things that once you see it in practice, like I'm old, but I don't know if you remember when tessellation became a thing. Tessellation was like, oh my god, this is useless. This is a buzz term. And then the first time you see something with tessellation fully on, you're like, oh shit, I get it. It's like, I get it. It makes these things all mesh together and look like a street instead of like a bunch of individual squares placed next to each other that are supposed to give the illusion of a street. So like things like that, I think there are technological improvements that you can't really show people until you sit down and say, yeah, this is what ray tracing actually is. It's not just a buzzword. There has been, don't get me wrong, TressFX was definitely a buzzword. That was like a one-time
I remember activating that on Tomb Raider.
And your
one of the first games to use it.
Crawling to a
it
stop.
slowed, it chopped my frame rate in fucking half. And it was just for like the hair on this one model.
Exactly.
And it looked so bad. It just turned Lara Croft's ponytail into, remember that old fucking Windows screensaver with the brown lines kind of like moving across the screen? Yep. That's what her ponytail looked like with TressFX.
Yeah, they like individually wave in the wind.
That's some useless shit, man.
That would be my thing. Sure, sell chairs, sell keyboards, sell. I don't know how many, if you guys have ever been to like any kind of like gaming conventions, but things like Logitech and Razer and stuff, they take up huge amounts of floor space, and I bet you at E3 it's the same. Give them a little bit of space. Let them show up their cool new keyboard or their cool new mouse or their chair that, has built-in rumble or whoever. You know what I mean? But sure, I'd rather see that shit than a game I've seen 10 different times, or a game that's going to be, forgotten about in 6 weeks, or a mode for a game like fucking auto chess. Like, come on, guys. Give us something to be excited about.
To me what the fuck auto chess is? Because I watched that and
nope.
I'm like, I don't fucking what? And they're like,
I don't even know what a MOBA is. I'm really fucking ignorant, guys.
I've only seen it as described. What I think it is, it's you know what an idle clicker is.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like that. You develop your characters, and then they go out and they do, go in certain modes and stuff like that. That's my best guess, but no.
So it's like Cookie Clicker, but like non-casuals play it, and they're like, "Oh, this game is so hardcore." I'm like, "No, it's fucking Cookie Clicker.
Yeah.
You can open that in a browser." Okay, so it's Cookie Clicker for pretentious douchebags.
You're good.
Okay,
You're good.
got it. Somebody's gonna write like a really angry letter to the podcast,
Good.
like,
I hope so.
"You fucking criticize auto chess, you scrub," and then there's
Number
gonna be a
one
bunch
auto
of racial
chess player,
slurs after
NA.
that. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't gotten any letters to the podcast yet, so if you want to send us letters, please do. So moving on, let's talk about Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Or,
Do you mean
as I like to
Tom
call it,
Clancy's Ubisoft?
yeah, Tom Clancy
Clancy
Conference.
presents Ubisoft.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
probably
I think
the biggest like Ubisoft stan here, and this was fucking Red Bull.
I'm pretty with you on being all in usually on Ubisoft. I really liked their presentation last year. I would like that they were like, look, we're weird Euro types, and here we are. We're ready to do Just Dance and be all goofy and fun about it. I thought that was a really cool thing, rather than like kind of like the detached coolness that a lot of other people go for. But yeah, it was a little bit of Tom Clancy overload, and I played the shit out of all the Tom Clancy games, and I was just kind of like, okay, give me something.
non-Clancy.
Yeah,
I
They
think-
showed what like
You saw
three
the agenda.
Tom Clancy games in a 90-minute show.
Mhm.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Well, it's a down year for Assassin's Creed, right? So that wasn't there. Fallout kind of just had their thing. Or not Far Cry.
Far
just,
Cry.
Yeah,
Far
just
Cry,
kind of
yeah.
had their thing. So
And
I could have
Skull and
looked at
Bones
this.
got delayed.
Yeah, I could have
Yeah,
just.
so all they really had to show off was Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, to be
Well,
fair,
fucking
looked pretty
good.
cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really fucking excited about being Hacker Grandma. I think.
That's the thing, though. That was another show where they had what was it? Gods and Monsters.
Gods and
Apparently
Monsters.
Had,
Yeah.
Like I'm excited for that, and it had a full like gameplay thing that they showed to people that we weren't allowed to see.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
they
another-
completely bungled Gods and Monsters Reveal, I feel like.
Yeah, they made it look like a weird fucking mobile game, and apparently it's like
It's
Zelda.
inspired by Breath of the Wild.
Ubisoft's Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Uh,
Mythology.
A Greek mythology Breath of the Wild is very intriguing to me. Honestly, I think that could be really fucking cool.
I'm
Like,
really
totally
excited
with you.
for
I
it.
just wish they told me what it was in
Yeah.
the fucking show I watched.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I don't know. Like, so I'll play Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon is a very fun co-op experience with friends. There's it's super hyper militaristic, but it's really cool to like go into a village and sink your shots, take down the bad guys before they notice you. Like little moments like that are very fun to play, and it looks like they're trying to like. I remember talking about like E3 predictions. They're trying to get to that shared universe. I still think they're trying slowly to get there with some of the stuff they've been doing.
The shared universe of their cartoony mobile game with Sam Fisher.
Yeah, the only Splinter Cell they talked about. But
Well, the whole thing, I just, as a person that's not really into the military stuff, I just kind of just zoned out on the whole conference.
Yeah,
I don't.
I zoned out a lot.
Which is
watch
unfortunate. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, the John Bernthal reveal trailer for Ghost Recon, I thought he was supposed to be the player character at first. I had to watch it again before I realized he's the villain.
Yeah.
But the dog
Um,
was cute.
The
I don't know
dog
why
was
it
cute.
was there. I don't know who. I had
The dog. It's his dog. It's his dog. You just take the dog from show
With
to
them,
show
yeah,
with him.
goes with them. Yeah.
It's just on his rider. I will only show up if you let me bring my dog.
I am the dog. Good dog.
So I think that I don't think they had as much to go with this year as they have in years past, and I think what they had to go was all kind of weirdly thematically similar, which probably didn't help. I thought the show was all right. I think Gods and Monsters is very, very cool looking. I hope it doesn't get lost in like some kind of weird holiday shuffle, because I think if they give that game a little bit of breath, they might have a whole new franchise on their hands.
I
But other
think
than
if there's one thing I will give credit to Ubisoft is they don't let a franchise die after one failed attempt. Like, we're on fucking Watch Dogs 3, for God's sake.
No, we had a
Yeah.
pretty good podcast about games that have had a resurgence, and I mean it's just funny that like basically 2/3 of them probably were Ubisoft games. I mean, how ready were people to write off Assassin's Creed 2 or 3 games ago? You know, and now it's like this crazy historical RPG.
Like, who the fuck wanted a sequel to The Crew?
Yeah, yeah.
They made The Crew 2.
Yeah.
Now
I think the only person who plays it is my kids.
I still don't know what The Crew is.
It's like
it's an open world racing game.
That's basically all you need.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it also has. Here's a really funny thing. I don't know about The Crew 2, but The Crew 1 has Ubisoft control towers.
Yep.
Like you drive up
Insane.
like towers to like unlock parts of the map.
That sounds very exciting.
The thing about it is, it's a kind of racing game where you can like jump in from like a street racer to like a rally car to a helicopter to a motorcycle, like in the same race. And then people can set up like race challenges. Ubisoft was kind of really into this like 3 or 4 years ago with like Steep and other stuff where it's like, hey, we'll let the community come up with challenges, right? And then we'll see if people can do the challenges and stuff like that. So you like basically you can sit there and be like, yeah, here's a race I made up, kind of like Mario Maker almost. I beat it in this time.
Shit, like, way to fucking like not announce shit at their show that they then uploaded to fucking YouTube. They added that to Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's a fucking quest building thing you can do in it now.
It's kind of like Hitman Contracts, I think, if I got the gist of it right.
It's kind of more involved because, like, you get to, like, write your own dialogue trees and all that kind of shit.
What? What the fuck, man?
I'm sorry for screaming. They gave me an RPG maker?
But in Assassin's Creed, yes.
God damn it.
And they didn't announce it at their show.
That's really cool. I had no idea.
I'm mad that that's tied to a franchise I don't like, and I'm mad that I didn't get to hear about it from the people who should have been announcing it.
If you can do dialogue tree with Cassandra, I'm pretty much going to do nothing for the next year but make Cassandra RPGs, because she's probably my favorite character in any game right now.
Like, yeah, you could do, like, there's a fucking, because they did their version of the treehouse thing after it, and there's like a 20-minute thing on it, like, it's the dialogue system they use to, like, make the proper game with, like, all the different branching options.
That's really cool.
Like, all
really
that
cool.
kind of shit. Like,
Yeah,
What the fuck,
Awesome.
they
how
kind
do
of-
you
this
announce
guy's-
the show, and instead we get fucking Sam Fisher mobile game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was it like Tom Clancy's Tactics? I don't even know what it's fucking called. So like, if you look at the agenda that I wrote up for this podcast, I didn't even specify what the Tom Clancy games were. I just wrote like Tom Clancy 15 times.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't even fucking remember all this shit. It just bled together, which I know is unfair as someone who's trying to amateurishly cover this.
It's
but,
not.
like,
It's really not.
Yeah.
I know.
I will
I'm
say
being.
the Just
Yeah,
Dance
kinda
presentation
nice.
is again the highlight of this show.
Yeah.
I
Just
fucking
Dance
Oh, for
was fun,
sure.
and the big speech that guy gave about how meaningful Just Dance is was still less self-aggrandizing than everything Bethesda did.
Yeah.
Like, it
That's
was
true.
so corny, and I loved it, and I'm always there for that dancing panda, hey.
Yeah, it goes a long way for me when a developer's willing to be like, yeah, this is just a fun, silly dancing game, and you and your friends are either going to like it or have fun with it or not, but here's what it is, you know? I like that kind of presentation style of just
Put the dancing panda in Smash.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
have fun with it. But yeah, but I don't think Ubisoft's was as bad. I think it was just kind of one of those weird down years, and I think that's a lot of publishers are seeing. When you want your own stage presence at E3, you're gonna have these years where it's like we just don't have as much, and people are gonna say, well, it was a bad presentation. It wasn't necessarily a bad presentation. It was just you had a lot of thematically similar games that just kind of blended together, and you maybe didn't need your own press conference. You know, that's what I'm kind of feeling a lot about these E3
Just,
ones
like,
lately.
Going through Merve's fucking conference highlights, there was that TV show. What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's the other thing I wanted to bring up.
Mm.
Ubisoft has like a film division, right? So
Yep.
they're making a film
They're
for
making-
the division starring Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal. Did I get that right?
And is directed by the first John Wick director.
That's
Okay, I'm
That's a big
Okay,
name.
so that could be promising.
I want to tell you guys one thing, though. I remember the cast of Assassin's Creed when Ubisoft was in charge of the Assassin's Creed movie, and we were like, oh, man, there's no way they're going to blow this one. Look at the names they've got.
Yeah,
and
Marion
the-
Cotillard, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I forgot who
borderline
played the hero. Was it Michael Fassbender?
Yeah.
Who played the hero in that?
Very
Then
Cotillard was-
Fassbender and Cotillard. How do you screw that up?
Like, I am borderline fetishistically obsessed with Assassin's Creed. And that movie's bad.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm the person who will go to bat for the fucking 3DS game for DS game before the 3DS. Like, and even still, that movie was not good.
Dire.
No, I do love that they doubled down on the fact that it's canon in the next game.
Yeah, they really did. They're like, yep.
Yeah,
Like, no, fuck you can't ignore it.
So the one interesting thing they also announced was they are debuting a new TV show on Apple TV Plus from Rob McElhenney. I forget what it's called.
Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest, and it's about.
I love the It's Always Sunny creative crew. I'm glad he brought them in.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of the show like actually being effectively good, but also I'm never going to pay for Apple TV Plus.
Same thing.
Look at it.
They got F. Murray Abraham, dude.
Yeah.
It seems like such a bad idea. I don't know. It seems like it's doomed to fail.
Oh, it is just like the entirety of Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. It seemed like it didn't have much money behind it, and it didn't seem like especially clever. So I was like, "Oh no, please, Mac, please."
Yeah.
No,
I just don't know why Ubisoft's throwing money at this.
Yeah.
They're trying to expand into big
I really
transmedia
like Rob, so I really hope it goes well, but it just
likewise,
didn't look great.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, I think there's. I mean, we don't talk much about streaming, video and stuff, but I mean, it even feels like kind of Netflix is almost like Hulu's about dead. Netflix is on its way out. You got Disney Plus coming out. I don't know why.
Hulu has Disney dollars behind it now. Hulu will
for now until Disney says, okay, Disney Plus now. But
Netflix is also pretty.
You know what's kind of. I think I read an article that basically was like Disney almost basically accidentally bought Hulu. Like they didn't even realize that when they bought out Fox, they were going to buy Fox's shares in Hulu, and it's like, oh shit, we own Hulu now. It's like,
pretty fucking much.
Okay, I think the real problem I see with this TV show, though, right, is it's the Apple Plus TV exclusive or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This conference was the first time I heard that there's an Apple Plus TV exclusive. Like, I didn't realize Apple had a streaming TV.
Well, let me ask you this. So, just I guess in the U.S., a Fire Stick, so to stream from Amazon, costs about $30. Roku costs about what, 20? What would you guess an Apple TV box?
Like 400.
$999.
$150.
Wait, yeah, is it cheaper than their fucking monitor stand?
I think,
that was the joke I was making.
I think it's legitimately $200, right? I think they announced a price decrease, and I think it's $200 just to stream it to the box. I think there are apps and stuff like that, but generally speaking, people like to have the box. It's just weird to me. But anyway, I hate it.
I own an iPhone, and still half the time Apple does anything, I'm just like, kiss my ass, Apple.
Apple's trash. My family owns literally like 8 Apple TVs, and that doesn't make Apple less trash.
But yeah, so Ubisoft's conference I think was decent. I don't think it was the disaster, and I think you're right. Coming after Bethesda probably really softened the blow, but it just kind of felt like very samey.
It felt like they're going through the motions. Like we have to show off all this shit, so just get it over with.
Watch Dogs 3 deserves more talking about though, because especially the shit they talked about after it, like that game. I don't understand how that game is possible, but it seems like it is.
Well, 1 was so bad, and then 2 was such a course correction that.
1, I want to say, because I'm playing it at the moment, is not as bad as I was expecting, but the writing is the worst I've ever seen in a game, and Aiden Pierce, I want him to die.
Yeah, he's probably, like, if you sat down and tried to, like, wargame the least interesting protagonist, you'd basically come up with it.
It's like hacking shit and going through all the cameras, and that's really fun. It's just, oh my god, fuck off, Aiden Pierce,
and then 2 doubles down on that, but you have a lot of that. God, Merve knows this. Ludonarrative dissonance. Is that right?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah,
Speaking of ludonarrative dissonance, the director of Watch Dogs Legion is the guy who coined that term.
Oh, well, there you go. But you have
anyway, so go ahead.
You have a lot of that in too, because it's like I'm this like nice hacker helping the world, being this guy. But then I get into a gunfight and kill 30 people,
Yeah.
And I heard I was reading a lot of people saying like this could be a way to fix that in a way, because it's like maybe this NPC that I play as is my hacker, who's trying to make the world a better place, and this other guy is like kind of chaotic good. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if I have to go, kill a bunch of cops to make it.
Like there is
That's what chaotic good people do, kill a bunch of cops.
But like it also
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'll also endorse that message.
there's a lot more like non-lethal options in this
Yep.
game as well. Like I was reading a thing, you can like fucking non-lethal take down a dude, then he'll get sent to hospital, and you can like track him to hospital, and then hack into the hospital's records, and either have him euthanized, which holy shit,
Yeah.
or like
What the fuck?
Yeah.
you can like prioritize his care, so he gets really good care, and then his family will see that DedSec is helping this dude and start to like you more, and then you can like go.
That's
to
fucking amazing.
life.
If that game has shit like that, I will be all in. Completely.
I'm
That's
Talking about like you can surrender, like you know how your characters have permadeath in it. Like,
Yeah.
you can
Mhm.
surrender to the cops instead of getting killed, which will get you sent to jail. Which then you can like go hire a lawyer as another character to get your dude out of jail.
Could you imagine though, like the narratives you could do, like instead of like killing a person, if you just like hack their Twitter and just like, you know what I mean, like
Oh, no.
like just like destroyed them socially, like it'd be like in Dishonored when you like exile people, you know what I mean, or like all those like
Yeah.
weird like brand them and all that stuff. Like imagine it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do is like hack your Facebook and just post like
Yeah.
a bunch of like, like weird
Like
memes
a
or
bunch of
whatever.
Justin Bieber
Yeah,
memes.
exactly.
Like, I'm a huge Justin Bieber fan.
Like
now.
you're a big like badass dude.
believer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. I'm still deeply skeptical of this game, but I think it's going
Yeah,
to continue
me
to be
too.
worth talking about.
It reminds me of when they showed the Nemesis system for the Shadow of War game,
Yeah.
and everybody was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, how is this going to work? How is this even possible?" And then it came out and it's like, "Yeah, it's cool, but it's not as deep as we thought."
That's-
It was
yeah.
just-
The one thing that like, because like I was watching this conference, like I don't understand how it's possible. Reading about it and finding out it's the dude that did Far Cry 2, which like you can boot up now and is still like years ahead of any other kind of
Yeah,
game. in
I'd
how
say it's
systematic-
interesting. I wouldn't
Like,
say years ahead, but it's interesting. It
I'd
has
say
some
in
interesting stuff. in it.
How it handles like systematic gameplay and everything there's nothing else like it really.
I don't know.
like-
Every time I like kind of played it a little bit, like every 10 minutes, a new jeep with a bunch of bad guys came
Yeah,
out of
respawns
like
at
the
the same
corner.
checkpoint you
Yeah,
just cleared.
it's
I'm more talking
nonsense.
about, like, the like fire propagation, the way
Yeah, the
interact
fire was
with the
cool.
environment,
Yeah,
all that
fire
kind of
was-
stuff. Like they've like taken back, like they had to reel a lot of it in for the other games because it's not actually that fun. Like
Yeah.
it is still.
It's a game.
super
It's a game that's very interesting from a systems perspective. I just don't know that it's actually going to be fun to play.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Could be good. Could be
Yeah,
bad. Who
could be-
knows?
yeah, like every
the last
game.
thing, the last thing that important thing that Ubisoft announced at their conference is that they're coming up with their own streaming service, Uplay Plus, for $15
Was it
a month.
streaming?
You can-
that one.
Streaming? Oh, like, it's just subscription, right?
It's- yeah.
Sorry,
Like,
not
like
free.
yeah.
Game Pass. Or
It's
whatever.
it's a premium thing on top of Uplay's existing service.
Great.
Well, it was 15 a
great.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15
Yeah.
a month, which is
Really
expensive.
expensive.
I'm out. Yeah.
That very popular thing you play that everybody loves.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if EA can do it for $5, you can do it for $5. That's my
Yeah.
my version on that. The only reason I've always been very high on EA Access is because of how cheap it is. I think if you play 2 EA games a year, you've basically made your money back. And for me, that's always going to be at least Madden, and then 1 or 2 other weird games in a Dragon Age or whatever. So I've always been really high on EA Access, and not because, but just because it's so cheap. I mean. But yeah, 15 a month is way too fucking much unless you're playing.
That's more than Netflix.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Unless
It,
you're
it's the
buying.
same. It's the same as the cost for the bundle of 2 different versions of Xbox Game Pass and
Yeah.
Xbox Live.
How could you justify that? I mean, like you'd be like, wait, I can get all like basically every. Yeah, they got to
And
come
it's
down on
also
that price.
PC only.
Yep.
It's not any consoles except Stadia eventually.
Like, yeah, I fucking love Ubisoft games, and
Yeah. Yeah, just ain't worth it. So that's Ubisoft's conference. The next conference, that was, I mean, there was the kind of funny indie showcase, but we already sort of touched on that. The next major conference was Square Enix.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they showed off a lot of...
Square invested heavily in old games, and also they kind of bungled their Avengers reveal.
All right, now I know we shit a lot on Bethesda, but I really think that this had to have been the worst of E3. Really?
No, dude, you have to understand. Square just invested a lot of money into bringing, sincerely, games that are very important for older JRPG nerds to the West for the first time, and
I'm an old JRPG nerd. Like, I don't know. I just, man.
Saga and Mana and...
Sorry,
One at a time, children.
I don't think Square Enix had the worst show of the thing, but I think their Avengers reveal may have been the worst thing at E3.
The Avengers reveal was so bad.
Oh yeah, that was a train wreck. So let's actually talk about that. Even though it was at the end of the show, let's do this out of order.
Yes.
So what the fuck is the Avengers game?
Okay.
So this follows sort of a pattern at E3 where at the presser they announce something or they show something off, but not in a way that explains what it is, and then later in developer interviews they explain what the fuck is going on.
And they show gameplay to people.
Honestly though, looking at the trailer, it seemed pretty. For me, it was kind of like, yeah, I kind of get it what it is. I understood it.
Has anyone read the show floor reports from actually seeing the demos? Because I did. Because I can help.
I read a little bit about it. So what I gleaned is that it's a mostly single-player game, but it does have co-op side missions, which you can play online.
Yeah.
And the mechanics are kind of brawler-esque.
Yeah, that's what I kind of...
And that's pretty much what you'd expect.
The gameplay's basically just going to be Ultimate Alliance, but with less interesting visuals.
That's
no. You know what surprises me? That it's not what I thought I understood from the trailer. Like, I understood that it's a brawler, I understand an action game, but I really thought it was like a 4-player co-op action thing.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Like, that was really surprising that it's not that.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought if I could play this,
only co-op side missions.
I'm out. Like, if I could play this with my kids, and my kid is Iron Man, and I'm Thor, and my wife is Black Widow, and we're doing that's fun.
Yeah,
it's single player.
Yeah, Ultimate
Alliance brawler.
Do that, and also won't have only 4 characters.
That's insane.
Yeah,
single player brawler.
I can't fucking believe they didn't get the face likenesses for the actors.
Yeah.
No,
I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit about that.
I don't give a shit about it, but the fact that they stayed so close to realism and the movie costume, so then they have the wrong faces, and you're just looking at it.
Yeah,
it's uncanny valley.
No,
that's what it is.
I think that it was just bad models. They look like PS2 era models a little bit. Their faces were really
bad models. I think they were just it's just that weird disconnect. Like, if they'd gone a different stuff, if they'd gone Ultimate Alliance 3 and had it's like
making it look like a comic book.
Yep. Yeah, sure. But I still think
the one thing I'll say for the visuals is that I like that Black Widow has a strong jawline, and I like that post time skip Iron Man had Silicon Valley hair. That's pretty good.
I guess my thing on the I understand what you're saying when you're saying it just doesn't look right. I think it tries to split the difference, right? Like, it goes for the movie costumes and then kind of the faces, but then the voices are totally out of, not even close.
Yeah, that may be a problem.
The way Thor talked was have you guys seen Ragnarok? Thor is not, you know what I mean? The boring thee and thou guy. In the trailer, Thor made a joke? I'm wait, what? How disconnected are we from MCU? Why do you guys have this license then?
It seems like bad writing,
but it's not what people have expected.
It's not the public image for at this point. Yeah.
I do have a huge crush on Travis Willingham, so I am kind of down with that. Swoon.
I mean, who they got? They got Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, Nolan North, Troy Baker, Jeff Shine. They got the 5 biggest voice actors in gaming.
Yeah, how weird is it though that Nolan North is doing Nolan North? I mean, that's just his speaking voice, right?
Yeah, and he has a wide range.
Yeah.
Like he plays Stephen Heck
Yeah.
in Alpha Protocol. It's
Yeah.
a completely different voice.
Yeah.
And Troy Baker has a stupidly wide range
Yeah.
too.
Those
Yeah.
actors
And they're
have,
just using the regular voices.
Yeah, those actors have gotten to the point where people know their voices and they're getting hired to do that specific voice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting
Yeah.
hired to do like their full range, because everyone's like, if you want Nolan North, you want Drake. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you want the actor, you know? They just crossed over
But he
from
has
like.
they're super talented and they have this range that's just not being used.
I
No,
would
I mean, they're still actors. They can still like play
Yeah.
the parts with their voice. They don't have to change their voice to be good actors, you know.
It was just
That's
a
true.
really disappointing reveal for me. I was already pretty disappointed in what I've seen from Ultimate Alliance 3, honestly. And this one's even worse. I don't know. How the fuck do we not have a good MCU game? I mean, it's
Yeah, that's the
baffling
most
to me.
surprising thing.
It-
It's such a strong franchise, and they did, you know, the big reveal that they're going to make a game like 2 years ago, and I was like pretty sure that they're going to put a lot of effort into it. And
Even
this-
if it's like
maybe
an
they did-
action RPG.
Maybe they did. I don't want to criticize how much effort they put into it, but looking at it, it's just like a brawler. That's not very.
It looks really cheap.
Yeah.
is the
That's the
best
problem.
MCU game the fucking Xbox 360 Captain America one?
Yes.
I think it is.
It's got to be
Yeah.
up there. I mean, there's the
Like,
whole
what is-
whole Ultimate Destruction was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
that
MCU,
game.
the movie. Like,
Yeah, he's talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
specifically MCU posts.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been garbage all the way down. I mean, if you want to get best Marvel game, there's not even a lot of conversations
hey,
there outside of Spider-Man.
Ultimate
Marvel game
Destruction
is
is
Marvel
pretty
Capcom 2.
great.
One at a time.
Best Marvel game, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's not a contest.
Oh well,
Fair-
yeah, that's
fair
kind of
enough.
a thing.
I
Yeah.
want to say one more thing about Avengers, which is the one thing about their whole pitch that actually intrigued me, and I wouldn't have expected to say this, is the concept of we're going to use the live service model to recreate how comics and the MCU have ongoing storylines. I think that's a really cool concept.
I'd agree.
I will not invest in it, but it is a cool concept. I respect that they had ambition in at least one regard.
Now, can I tell you what goes on in my head when they say that, though? It goes, well, I'll just wait for the game of the year. Like, 'cause-
No, that's
Yeah.
the thing, is it's all free updates, and I mean, I
Right,
don't know
but
how.
Yeah, but I kind of want to play it all in one go, right?
exactly.
I
I'm so
know
bad
how-
about going back and playing, like,
Yeah.
procedural content or whatever, episodic content.
It's like I've already
Well, I mean-
taken this off my hard drive because I have limited space.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what it
I'll
was.
Yeah, I
probably
guess-
uninstall games when I'm done with them. Because
The
I
idea-
don't have
Yeah.
The idea of doing that as a comic, though, like you're saying, that was really smart. Like, if you can make it feel like issues and then do, like, crossovers and stuff and really get that feel, if you can do it that way, I think that's a really cool idea for comic games.
Totally.
going
I'm not sure that like
pull it off.
just an eventual complete edition where you'll have everything off the bat. I doubt that they'll ever do that personally. I think that's too antithetical to what they're going for.
Do you think it's like a fear of missing out type thing? Like, you got to play
Yeah.
the game when
Yeah,
it's
take
out.
advantage of the FOMO. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
What? So the one last thing I wanted to say about this game is doesn't look like a game that needed two studios to make.
Mm-mm.
Like this
Yeah.
is Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Yeah.
It
And
doesn't
it's-
feel like a Square game, even. I mean, I've got a certain, feel for Square games, and it does include stuff like Hitman and those sorts of games, but it feels like the kind of game like that somebody like pushed out the door to coincide with the release of the movie almost, like.
But it's going to come out like a year after
Yeah,
Endgame,
yeah.
so I don't even know
Yeah.
what the fuck they're doing. So Square had a bunch of other stuff at their conference. They showed off the Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay for the first
Hey,
time.
that game actually exists.
They don't have to sell me on it. I'll just buy it. I know I'll just buy it. Everybody that knows they'll buy it, they'll buy it, and the rest of them.
Except for all the
won't.
people who are concerned about Tifa's breast size, apparently.
that's
That
right.
set the internet on
That's
fire.
a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It is.
thing. Yeah, oh my
Fuck the
God.
internet, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck
Like
them.
the reason, part of the reason, boobs looked like that in super old video games is because
They have 4 polygons.
it's just like
so-
blocky ass fucking models.
They had all
right?
all of 8 polygons to work
Yeah.
with.
Like,
Yeah.
Tifa's
So
fucking...
that's why they have fucking triangle boobs.
Yeah.
The model with Tifa's boobs like that is like the same one with like the fucking Popeye arms and everything, and no one's like, hey, how come Cloud's forearms aren't the size of his head?
Yeah, because like video game graphics don't look the same as they did back then.
Just ignore those people. Let's just.
It's almost like a parody of a controversy at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not even real to me that people could be that mad about something like that. That it goes from like. But if you can find it, there's some pretty good copy pasta out there about like you need to treat this game like holy text and like you know what I mean. Like it's some pretty good stuff.
Is it like the Sekiro copy pasta?
Yeah, exactly.
You know how there were all the people like doing their own like I've like fixed design and like all that, and there were just all the people editing those fucking Yu-Gi-Oh hand like card things onto it. It's like I fixed the design for you, Square.
Yeah. So I already basically said it, but I just like to me the only thing that really mattered about this conference was like Final Fantasy VIII Remastered finally happening and investing in bringing Saga and the Mana trilogy to the West. Like I do respect and appreciate that.
Yep.
That's good.
Did they announce what it's going to be on at all?
Everything.
Okay. PC
Okay.
The trilogy's already out on Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the trilogy came out on Tuesday when it was announced, and the remake is early 2020, and it'll be on everything.
All right. Cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that more people can get exposed to classic games.
Both of the Saga games are also like I looked through the list. It's not just like Switch, PS4, and Xbox. It's also like separately iOS, Steam, Windows,
Right.
Android.
Very
they're,
cool.
Android.
they're doing
Okay.
everything.
Maybe the one thing I got most excited for at like the entire E3 is the fucking Crystal Chronicles
Yeah.
re-release.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm in the minority, but I fucking adore that game. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game.
I never got the chance to play Crystal Chronicles when it was first out, but I'm really interested by that, and it'll be nice that you won't have to play it with 4 distinct Game Boys.
Like,
You can play it like a game.
Where, like, you start playing it and you think it's just like there's no storyline and everything, and then as it gets going, it fucking goes places, and it's amazing.
I don't think I ever played it. I'm interested.
Yeah.
If you didn't play it when it came out, you basically could have played it because it had some very weird mechanics to it. I can't remember exactly what they were, but I do remember the 3D or not the 3DS, 4 Game Boys being a thing.
How you worked is you could either play single player where you had a Moogle that carried around your fucking little chalice thing that lets you breathe, or you could play multiplayer where you use the Game Boy link cables to plug your Game Boy Advance into the GameCube, and the Game Boy Advance served as a map, except each person's map displayed different things. So one person's map would actually have like the layout of the level, the other person's map would have where all the enemies are, the other person's map would have like where treasure chests are and shit on it, and like
Actually,
that controller.
I played it at a PAX.
That's a really cool idea.
I played it at a PAX, and it was amazing the way it came off. But you got to remember, there's almost like a generation of DS games where like the reason they worked was because in Japan, like literally everyone had one, and like you could just like walk on the street and like Game Pass. Remember like how like you could like walk by people and like send them information and stuff like that. And so like you would meet people in the street, and like I can't remember if it was, man, it's what's the one with all the slimes? Maybe King's.
Dragon
Quest. Yeah. So there was like a Dragon Quest where like if you walked by the street and somebody was like broadcasting or whatever, you could like download dungeons from them, and it was like a very cool like idea. But it worked there because on a subway train there's 15 people playing. They're a very popular game on their very popular system, but here it just never kind of worked that way. So you'd have to.
It works in a densely populated city like Tokyo or New York, but for the rest of us.
Yeah, it was like a feature that never really took off, and so it's interesting to see that like
that would never work in LA.
Yeah, unless you got really bad traffic and got really lucky, I guess. But yeah. So yeah, I think there's.
Dear God, I hope you're not playing your 3DS while you're driving.
That's when I eat breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah, in traffic. But yeah. No.
Yeah, I have my coffee in my car. Yeah, so the one other interesting announcement that was there is People Can Fly is working on a new shooter called Outriders. It's going to be a co-op shooter.
Again, I'm excited to be excited when I see the fucking game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Theme of this E3 for sure.
At least that one has a release window, which Deathloop and Ghostwire do not have.
There you go. So that was Square Enix.
Oh, and
then.
Final Fantasy.
Bones mentioned that, yeah. So moving on to the final major conference of E3, which was the Nintendo Direct on Tuesday morning. So they showed off a lot of trailers here. It was
Yep.
a pretty interesting conference overall.
Yep.
The one thing, and y'all feel free to pile on me for this.
I will.
I'd say it was a conference that showed off, like, objectively, I think it was an interesting conference that'll please a lot of people. It just didn't show off a lot of stuff that I personally was interested in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
with you
really
100%.
like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I love Animal Crossing, and
Yeah.
I just-
So I'm never going to buy Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
That's-
I really love it.
Yeah,
Holding out for that shit,
I think even most Nintendo fans are kind of would even agree that you're either in or out at this point with a lot of Nintendo stuff. You know,
Sure.
If they started
I mean,
to bring
I'm in for some of the stuff. Like, I'm totally on board with Astral Chain.
Mm-hmm.
That looks fucking dope.
Yeah.
And I think Empire Sin looks cool. But like, I'm not going to get excited about all these JRPGs coming to Switch that I'm never going to play. Which is fine. Like, other people are super excited about it, and I
Bones,
totally
are
get
you
that.
pro or con Animal Crossing?
I'm very pro. This is,
Yeah.
this will be my first Animal Crossing game, but that doesn't make me less excited for it. I just like trying new
Yeah.
things. But also,
Yes.
I think it's important for those of you that don't have the context to understand that, like, this Animal Crossing reveal did mean a lot for, like, the dedicated fans. And it's not because of the delay or anything. It's that, so New Leaf was a big step forward because, like, you're going from just being a person who lived in the town to being the mayor of the town. But in
Yep.
this one, they're taking a much step further by having you start with absolutely nothing and truly building the
Yes.
town up yourself
Yes, it's
and
awesome.
choosing what you do with that. That's really, really radical and meaningful for the series.
I'm actually,
Yeah.
I'm pretty interested in this one. I'll probably pick it up. I just hope some of the weird time sensitive type stuff. I know that's a big part of Animal Crossing, but
Yeah,
I
don't-
hate.
They put in auto saving and a lot of
Good. Okay.
they'll make the time stuff easier to manage.
I would just
Yeah.
hate kind of like
I
forgetting
still
about it for a
want
week
it to
and
be
then, like,
weird, though.
Sure,
I
yeah.
want it-
What I don't understand is how are you founding a new town but still in debt to Tom Nook?
Oh, you're always in debt to Tom. No,
Well,
you
the
never
thing-
go out of that.
Nintendo's very clear about this. The important thing to understand about good old Tom is that the debts that you're repaying aren't like going into his pocket. They're basically taxes to support the infrastructure of the town.
Wink,
Which,
wink.
yeah, which again is a fantasy for a non-capitalist world.
That
but
seems
nonetheless,
like it seems like
it's
you could
fine.
probably
That
fit
sounds
that as a
like-
very
That sounds like almost a satire of Japanese politics.
yeah. But nonetheless, it's important to remember that in the context of the game, being in debt to Tom Nook isn't a bad thing, really.
It's also
It goes to taxes, and you know who the taxman is. Tom Nook.
it supports
Yeah,
their very
also-
controversial war against.
If you don't pay Tom Nook, he will break your legs.
Yeah, definitely. Look at those eyes.
Yeah,
Hey,
Tom
how's
Nook Tom Nook softened in old age. He has 2 adorable twin sons now, and
That's
he's not gonna do
true, but I still think
you
there's
Nintendo fans-
Wait, is he married to Isabel?
No.
no.
Okay.
No.
I was just gonna ask how that weird cross species thing worked.
You Nintendo fans
apparently
might
you
be
can't.
able to answer this for me better, but what's going on with Metroid? I thought for sure that was going to be at this one. I'm really into Metroid.
Metroid was completely everything that they'd worked on since 2017 was
Scrapped and
it was
restarted.
scrapped, and they
Yeah.
just started this spring, so they have nothing to show.
Damn.
And it was important. We don't know the details of it, but as far as I can tell, the scrapping was entirely necessary, just because like everyone inside the company thought that the game as is was really bad, and they didn't want to disappoint fans.
And not only that,
So now Retro's back on
from
it.
what I remember from like when it was like revealed on 2016, I
Wait.
think 2016, right?
2017.
2017. Okay, so it was a little bit later, but the game basically was like they only showed the name of the game,
Yeah,
like
it's like a
yeah.
logo.
because there was nothing.
Yeah, they had
there.
just greenlit it at the time, and
Yeah.
then Bandai Namco shit the bed, basically.
Yeah.
So now the people who made all the original trilogy are back on it, which they weren't originally. So they'll be.
Yeah, Retro should do a good job of it.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
I'm excited. Cautiously, we'll see
Yeah.
what they.
Yeah,
they
Metroid's
build with it.
probably one of like 4 or 5 Nintendo properties. I'm really that and Pilot Wings. Where the hell is my Pilot Wing?
Wow.
Yeah,
They've
okay.
renamed
They
it.
did a Wii U Pilot Wings, I think. I feel like, but anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So other new stuff that was announced. No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
Which people didn't think was coming because they thought, it would just be Travis Strikes Again and that, the franchise was dead. But now
that game.
they're bringing it
So
back,
they basically
which is cool.
they made Travis Strikes Again just to keep people distracted until No More Heroes 3 was ready to announce.
My favorite thing about No More Heroes is watching every time a new thing comes out of it, and like it feels like No More Heroes, like Travis Touch and everything, is more popular than people that have played the game. So everyone always expects it to be like this amazingly tight action experience like Bayonetta and everything, and insteed it's this Suda51 jank-ass fucking mess.
Yeah.
It's just, like,
It's kind of nonsense.
hardcore insanity, and they don't play well. They're just weird and dumb. And
But-
every time a new one comes out,
but
everyone's like, yeah, let's go play this, and then it's like, what the fuck is this shit?
I
But
definitely... Go ahead.
it did give us the words "fucky" and Star Wars references being made in a Nintendo Direct. that counts.
I'm down for that. Just like,
No, like
I
love
say this a
No More
lot.
Heroes. I just think it's really funny the disconnect between what people expect
Yeah.
and they have always been.
I know I say this a lot, but I think video games should be weird.
Sure.
And I'm very happy when video games just do weird things, even if it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy to see something just fucking bizarre out there.
Sure.
I really
so-
hope this announcement means we get a port of No More Heroes 1 and 2, because I never actually got to beat them.
Yeah, Suda's
Yeah.
Suda said they haven't started work on ports, but they're trying to make it happen. Basically.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
The other ports I hope for is Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch.
Yes.
I think that would be very
I
meaningful.
think Metroid Prime Trilogy will happen. It's just that when Metroid Prime 4 got rebooted, they don't want it out until it serves more effectively as promotion for a game that's coming soon.
How is
Basically.
the...
And
that makes sense.
It's just Nintendo marketing stuff.
I tried to play Metroid Prime like 4 times and I never finished that. I really liked it, but I don't know, something about it.
Metro is definitely my favorite Nintendo game.
I really liked it, Metroid.
How is the I'll confess, how's the Switch shop on backwards compatibility lately? Are they getting a lot more in there, or is it just kind of...
Nah.
Direct backwards compatibility isn't a thing because they moved back discs to cartridges, but they're slowly getting there and bringing older stuff to it. It's a very gradual process.
I mean, there's a lot of NES games, so if you want to like subscribe to their...
I feel like I've bought Mario 3 like 5,000 times. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like at this point, I'm just going to download the ROM. You got enough money for me on that one.
I think they're gonna start doing like SNES and N64 more soon. They, Turok got ported, and that was a thing that Nintendo didn't really have a role in, but they'll keep moving forward from that.
Huh.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Other interesting things, Witcher 3 is coming to the Switch, which I would not have expected, but apparently it works. So
what do they
good
call
for
it?
them.
Like the complete edition or something?
Was that?
I think it's got some fancy name, like the complete edition or something.
Yeah, so it's coming with all the DLC.
And
looks
the
good.
notable, as someone who clearly made clear earlier that I'm not really big on CDPR, the cool thing about the Witcher 3 release is, unlike a lot of third-party Switch ports, they actually made an effort and successfully put every single part of the game on the cartridge. There's no downloading required.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be like a magic trick then. That's a huge game on PC.
That's That's a big optimization job.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like it's almost like this is gonna sound really weird. Like remember Satoru Iwata was like the god of optimization back in the day. He was a programmer.
Yeah.
Like it's always like they brought him back from the dead to like fit it all on one cartridge.
I'll tell you, I'll give him a shout out too, because I don't think we talked, but David Braben, the guy who did the original Elite. If you ever look at how small like those games are versus what they're able to do, I mean, you got like entire solar systems in those games. I think that's a lost art. I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
It used to be like such a thing to like try to get a huge game on a small disc, so you didn't have to sell all these different floppies. But I mean, games now, man, I download them. It's just like, why is this so fucking huge? And it's because
It's like
Back in
uncompressed
my
textures
day.
and audio files.
I think the fucking wildest thing I ever saw for that is Mega Man 9 and 10. Like, they're fucking NES games, essentially, and those games are like over a gig.
wow.
Like, I don't understand how they made those games so big.
Yeah, it's an
It seems
interesting.
like they weren't
Those
even
fucking,
trying.
like HD fucking 8-bit sprites or something. What the hell?
Yeah,
are you
I'm not sure.
doing?
Maybe the music is very good quality
Yeah.
or something.
The music is like NES quality music. It's like MIDIs.
But
It's like chiptunes.
Yeah, but it's probably in a different format than it was on the
It's
NES,
just-
right?
It's interesting though if the CDPR guys can be the ones to pull off that, because especially because their releases have been really weird in terms of size.
I mean,
and
they're not
bugginess.
they're not doing.
They're not
They did
handling
do
the
the
port.
port. Yeah, it was a third party that handled the port
okay.
usually. Yeah, it just so happened to be a very competent third party apparently.
Yeah.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we'll
like,
see.
Panic
We'll see.
Button did like the Bethesda stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like Doom
yeah.
and Wolfenstein. Apparently, they did it really well. This is another studio, so I guess there's porting houses out there that are competent
Yep.
and they can pull this stuff off. So good on them.
Yeah.
Other big announcements: Dragon's Quest Hero and Banjo-Kazooie are coming to Super Smash Bros.
Fuck yeah.
So there are a lot of people who are super excited about this.
Yeah.
Dragon's Quest Hero is maybe the most disappointed I've ever been
Ah,
at it.
That's another anime swordboard.
Yeah.
that's an
Um,
extremely bad
It's,
take. I love you, Ben. It is. It's a bad
Like,
take.
No, I get that like people are super into Dragon Quest and everything, but it's just it's him. Okay, cool.
They should have brought Dragon Quest Slime over. That would have gotten me super excited.
There's nothing you can do with the slime though. Like I know they can get creative, but
Piranha Plant.
I mean, the problem. I
Piranha
think the
Plant
problem.
had a built-in way it could attack and move. Slime has neither of those things.
I think the problem.
Like
with-
they had to give him a flower pot though, so he could move around.
it's that he doesn't even have a name. It's a hero. It's
Well,
like
no, because
okay.
he's 4 heroes. That's the point.
Yeah,
He's
I know. It's like
I think that's nice. I think that's a smart way
yeah,
I do think
it's
that's
just
pretty
interesting, I
to. It's a
guess.
smart way to represent RPGs and Dragon Quest specifically, where half of their heroes don't have in-game names anyway.
One thing I think
Yeah,
is weird about the Dragon Quest Hero dude being in Dragon Quest is Squaresoft, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Square
Square seemed
because they bought NX.
Really not into being in Smash Ultimate. Like, if you look at the amount of like bonus content Cloud got compared to everyone else, like if you look at like the fucking music list and like there's fucking like 2 CDs worth of Castlevania music there, and then Cloud has like 1 song, and there
Yeah,
are no
that's-
spirits.
The thing
and-
is, like, Square's just stupidly possessive about Final Fantasy specifically. They'll be
yeah,
generous
fair
about anything
Cash
else.
cow.
it's
Yeah.
the only franchise that earns them any money now.
Yeah.
The only thing
but-
that annoyed me about Nintendo's conference was everybody in Microsoft's conference assuming that they were going to announce, like, I don't know what they thought was going to be the announcement, that all the Xbox games are free to play now on Switch. I don't know, but yeah, that was. I wish they would.
They thought that like Xbox Game Pass was coming to Switch in some capacity, which I didn't believe, so I wasn't really invested in that prediction. So
That seems.
I mean, it wasn't completely ridiculous, but it turned out the Microsoft Nintendo collaboration was just putting Banjo-Kazooie in Smash,
Yeah.
which a lot of
and
people are
new
excited
Super
about.
Lucky's Tale and new Super Lucky.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I saw some gameplay of it. Looks actually pretty good.
What's his name is also on Switch, the Minecraft Diablo thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Minecraft.
Dungeon.
Oh,
that
Dungeon.
looks
Yeah.
pretty fun, man.
Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
That actually looked really good. That was the Microsoft
I
conference.
hope
Yeah.
that you can make your own dungeons. That
I
would
do
be
too. I do too. That would be really.
Because
Yeah,
if
get,
not,
get that like building.
but because
in
if
it.
not,
Yeah.
that's like just like the Minecraft is not known because of its visual style. It's known because it's like you can make whatever you want, right? So
That would be a really cool mix up to
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
dungeon master almost.
Back on like the Smash stuff, the Banjo-Kazooie reveal with the fucking Duck Hunt dog
Yes.
maybe the funniest shit I've
yeah,
ever.
it was pretty
That
funny.
was
Yeah.
very fun. Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing everybody get trolled for about 5
Yeah.
seconds.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was literally just a repeat of the K. Rool trailer, which is what I enjoyed about it. And, that the angle of it was the Donkey Kong characters that Rare made reunited with another Rare character. It was nice.
The thing with the Banjo-Kazooie is like I fucking love Banjo-Kazooie. I've been drawing Banjo-Kazooie fan art since fucking he got announced, or they got announced.
Wait, you're drawing Banjo-Kazooie fan art? Because I'm a little scared of what that is if you're drawing
Hey,
it.
it work.
I did see at least one artwork where Kazooie definitely had some kazoobs.
Oh, if you want
All
to
right.
talk about it, the amount of Banjo-Kazooie porn that's been started being uploaded to the net has like
Yeah.
quadrupled since that
Yeah.
announcement. But I'm actually not that excited to play Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Ultimate because I think Smash Ultimate kind of sucks. Like, I love the Smash Brothers games, but like Smash Ultimate it's too visually noisy, and I lose track of the character, and it's not that fun. But I'm more excited about how much more like Banjo-Kazooie fan art, dumb comics, and everything are getting drawn now, but just because this exists. Like Twitter has been filled with dumb Banjo-Kazooie meeting the other Nintendo characters comics, and I love it.
Those comics are charming, I'll give you that.
Yeah, nothing bad about that.
Yeah.
Probably the most important, I guess the most important announcement out of the Nintendo Direct was that Breath of the Wild is getting a direct sequel.
Yep.
And they showed off with a trailer, which seems to indicate that Zelda will be playing a more important role in this game.
Yes.
So it looks, my prediction is that she'll be a companion character a la Alex from Half-Life 2. Some people are saying that this indicates a playable Zelda. I don't know if I believe that. I don't think we'll ever be able to play as Zelda in
it's
a
possible,
Link game.
But
It's,
but yeah, she'll
Um,
definitely have a bigger role than normal, at least.
Which is cool. Yeah. I
and
just
it looks darker in tone, like Majora's Mask to Ocarina of
Yeah,
Time.
it's-
So.
Right.
Again,
It's gonna
I'm
be
excited because we don't know anything about the game. It was a cutscene.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's fair.
It was a cutscene, but well, I was a bit
Yeah, but speaking of Rule 30,
a little bit disappointed that it just looked exactly like Breath of the Wild.
Well,
That's fair.
That's what's exciting about it for most Zelda people, because it means that it'll be out faster than 6 fucking years.
Yeah, I get. Whenever
One way
I,
to look at it. Seems like
I don't like when sequels are very similar to like in in looks.
I don't think narratively or tonally it'll be similar. It's just
Yeah. It's
They'll just
different.
be using.
a lot of asset
I don't think
reuse as
reusing
well.
assets is a bad thing.
like I am excited that it seems to be going with the Twilly from the music, like because Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda game, and I fucking love the Twilly. And oh my god, now that we have like weird, super horny Nintendo, what are they gonna do with Midna?
Oh god.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Speaking of super horny Nintendo, apparently people were Rule 34ing the Ganondorf mummy from that trailer.
Ganondorf
Like they were
rehydrating
rehydrating him,
his-
quote unquote.
Oh, and
Like,
don't forget
Hydrated
Guiji.
all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget
Oh, yeah.
Guiji. Guiji's
Wait,
also good
there's
for-
Guiji porn. I was just joking about Guiji being
I
like.
cannot forget Guiji.
All I've been writing about was like Guiji fucks, right? Because Guiji totally fucks, right?
Like all I can think of seeing is Guiji, and it's fucking weird. Is what do you reckon he tastes like? Like I reckon he tastes like toothpaste. That's just me. But
What does
I think he
that
tastes like flesh.
taste like?
I think he's just like green jelly flesh.
I bet he's salty.
Oh boy.
I watched most of the. I think I kind of skipped towards the end, but it looked like they had a lot of interesting stuff. And I think I'm same page as Merve, but I'm really hoping that the next one is when they really start to double down on getting some, not even some new stuff, just some neglected Nintendo stuff out the door, some long forgotten stuff. But
can we have a Star Fox game that doesn't
Yeah.
suck? I really
Well,
like that.
Starlink
Yeah.
is fantastic. Starlink is the best Star Fox game there ever was, and it's just not a Star Fox game.
Letting
So-
Ubisoft do Star Fox is, I think, as far as they're gonna get. I don't mean a new, like, fully dedicated one.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a
Yeah.
Star Fox, play that. It's Star Fox.
I've got
It's really.
this little model for like
Yeah.
modeling and everything. It's awesome. But
So
God, Star Fox Zero sucked.
Yeah, there's just
mentioning what the Kappa said about wanting to kind of see different stuff. What I will say is that, and we're going to kind of segue now into show floor stuff,
Sure.
is they did the Treehouse streams after the conference, and where they actually showed off gameplay, and that got me interested in stuff that I previously wasn't interested in.
That's
I
good.
wasn't going to go out and buy Super Mario Maker 2, and now I'm really excited for it. Or Fire Emblem Three Houses, they didn't even show off any gameplay during the conference, but then they showed it off during the Treehouse stream. It actually looked really good. And so I was not
Okay,
super
back
excited
up.
with the
How
Nintendo
does
conference.
Fire Emblem Houses look good? Because I thought it looked garbage.
I just think this is the.
I thought it looked interesting. Like they have, I don't know, maybe I have no investment in the Fire Emblem franchise whatsoever. I thought it looked like an interesting mixture of kind of like a management sim with a tactical RPG, which I guess like XCOM and other games have done that. But this looked interesting.
I just think what we
in a way
saw
that-
today, or not today, but at this E3 is kind of going to be the new way going forward, where you only get the game. You don't get the gameplay trailer. You got to watch the whatever, the after show. The like. I wonder if that's how they're trying to like build 2 levels of hype, right? Like, because it's almost like you hear about the game twice now, right? Like,
Microsoft had the big after show. Devolver kind of had the big after show. Ubisoft had the big after show. Nintendo had the big after show. Did Bethesda or Square?
No, but they don't have anything to show off, right? But like, it's not like there's Ghostwire Tokyo gameplay floating out there.
You know what I mean, though, about like the twice, like, because I'm getting hyped about stuff like that Assassin's Creed RPG Maker thing. Like, I'm hearing about stuff that I didn't see during E3 that I'm getting excited about for games all over again, in a weird way. You know what I mean? So like, I wonder if maybe that's like a conscious thing to like keep people talking and saying, okay, well, we're going to show just the teaser trailer. We're going to let the game journalists go out there and get you hyped because they're the ones who actually played it, and they're going to tell you, oh yeah, you didn't see 1/10 of what makes this a cool game, and here's all the other stuff you didn't get to see. Like, I feel like Watch Dogs, almost like the stuff I heard about Watch Dogs after the fact got me way more excited than anything I even saw. So
what I'd say is that works if there's a baseline level of excitement. Like, I'm not totally uninvested in the stuff Nintendo is showing off, and then they showed off the Treehouse Dreams. It made the Pokemon game, it made Fire Emblem, it made Super Mario Maker look a lot cooler. But like, it backfired horribly with, say, the Star Wars game, where any of the stuff they said just made it sound worse. Or like, why didn't you show off any of that when you could?
Right.
So it works. It can backfire, but it works if people are already kind of interested in it, and it'll make them more excited.
It's just one of those things where so many people, so many companies did it that I kind of feel like maybe it's just, okay, there's a conscious decision, you know, maybe like some kind of researcher, who knows what, where people are like, yeah, stop showing them gameplay, even though they say they want gameplay. Show them gameplay, but just afterwards. You know, get them excited, get them hyped.
My problem is, like, so many of the ones, like, didn't show the gameplay, though. Like, even on the afterwards, they have, like, the fucking Bleeding Edge was on the show floor. I can't find any gameplay footage of it. I can't find any gameplay footage of the Avengers stuff that was on the show floor. I can't find any gameplay footage.
That's all like embargo.
Yeah,
like, they can't show it off.
But that's the thing. Like, they have all the like gameplay footage. Like, oh, there's gameplay footage that you can see after, but we can't. Like, so fucking. I want to see gameplay footage, but I can't, and it's.
Well, that's why we're going to E3 next year. All of book your tickets.
Oh,
I don't know how much it costs to come from Poland and Australia.
I live in LA, and I still didn't go to E3. I probably could have bought tickets like years ago. Yeah, I mean, like, I was around downtown LA last weekend, and I saw posters and stuff. I saw people walking around with gaming t-shirts. So I'm like, okay, E3 is definitely happening. But it's not like something that people were talking about all throughout the city. I mean, I walked into a Taco Bell, and there are clearly a bunch of E3 attendees there talking about Nintendo stuff. But like, it's not the kind of thing that just like permeates the entire city, because LA is very spread out.
Yeah, PAX is pretty much the exact opposite. It takes over Seattle. Like, I mean, everywhere downtown is PAX related. So I don't know. Like, I was just thinking in broader terms of where E3 goes from here, right? Because that's always been the thing. Like, E3 has its ups and downs, and I feel like it's in a downtime right now with Sony just being like, yeah, we're not even going to bother, which was an interesting source. I know we've talked about it before, and I still think it was a mistake. I really do. I think the fact that, you know, all these other things are getting talked about and getting a little bit of more excitement around. And I don't know why you don't at least show up, but long term, I think.
I don't know. You say
they didn't even show up on the show floor, which is really weird.
You say ups and downs, but I think it's been a downward spiral for at least a couple of years now.
Well, it was definitely down for a long, long time, and then they let the public come back, right? And then they started to get all these other little shows. Well, not little, but like EA and Ubi and all these other like developers. Like, fine, we're going to start showing up at this too.
That was the time when I thought that was super weird, because I thought like the future of this show is that there is no show. Everyone's just streaming things over the internet, and like I think it was over the hill when everybody from like Bethesda and all of those smaller developers started doing their own shows, and I think they could do their small shows because it was cheaper to have those shows on E3, because I think like they knew that, you know, it's not going to last if they don't let those people, you know.
I mean, it's important to remember that all these studios and platform holders have booth presence on the show floor. And it's actually a pretty big deal that Sony doesn't even have a booth at E3 this year.
I think it's weird that, like, Sony were transitioning to doing, like, the fucking Nintendo Direct things and everything, but they didn't even have one of them scheduled for around E3. Like, Nintendo were like, we're gonna, like, fucking tap out of E3 and not do the big show, but they still do the Direct and everything. But there was no, like,
and they're still on the show floor. That's what's important. So,
but from what I heard about people being at the E3, they're like, "Oh, this is a ghost town. Like, there's like 80% less people." Like,
and one guy yelling, "Yeah."
Yeah. And some of that is because Sony wasn't there, so like a lot of Sony fans and Sony people weren't around, but I think like there's more than that missing. Like there's a whole lot of a big chunk of people that are not there, and a lot of people are just streaming stuff, I think. Like,
I think though, like, E3 like primarily isn't really for us at the end of the day though. It's a trade show. So, like,
I mean, it was like that, but I think like they realized that
they realize they can get lots of like fucking attention and everything, but it still primarily is a trade show. There's all the trade shit going on still, and that's always going to be there. Like,
yeah, but if you look at conferences themselves, in the past they were focused on the trade show, and now they're like, there's absolutely like zero bullcrap for like, that you could see, like there's no pie charts and stuff like that. That was totally in the past.
Bring back the fucking pie charts.
Yeah, bring back the pie charts, damn it. That was my point. No pie charts, no interest from the public. Everybody knows that pie charts are.
Well, like, so I imagine all that shit's been like moved to like back rooms and everything, because like it would still be happening. It's just to have like a more forward-facing like consumer fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the backroom deals are stuff that we're never going to see, and that's, I guess, it's unfortunate that like we're not privy to that, but also we were never going to be privy to it anyway. So I don't know. It's always, we always say that E3 is dying, but like it still sucks out all the oxygen from the gaming press every year. So we get massive coverage of it. There's still people going there to make business deals. It doesn't seem like it's actually dying. It just seems like that's a narrative that people want to advance because, you know, a major platform holder pulls out or they don't do the big stage shows. But those stage shows are pre-E3 anyway. That's not the show floor. It's not the actual conference. So I don't know. It's a weird narrative that I don't fully buy into.
No, I think like there's something to it, because E3 was also big because most of the things that you how the press got the information about the games is that actually you had to physically be there and get the tapes.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like all streamed, and that doesn't mean that as many people have to go to the physical place.
But they're still going in droves, right? It's still, media people, business people are still on the show floor there.
A lot of that will I think it'll change in the next couple of years a little bit, maybe.
See, I think it's difficult to know whether or not E3 is dying. It's the kind of thing we'll find out if and when it dies. And for now, I think, the fact that we're having an entire 3-hour podcast about it proves that there's still a little bit of life in it for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Seamless, Merve. You'd never guess we just took a 20-minute break.
What 20-minute break?
Way to ruin the illusion, guys. There's always like a clear theme in the recording whenever we stop recording and resume it.
There should be a voice saying,
"How dare you!"
I
am a flawless editor.
That's not like a critique on Kappa as an editor. It's just it's a critique on me being able to remember what was said 20 minutes ago. In any case, the other thing that, like, we mentioned this earlier that I want to discuss a little bit more was Kappa said he thought Sony's non-presence was a mistake, and I'm sort of inclined to agree in that I think this is sort of a double-edged sword. If they didn't have very much to show off, it makes sense for them not to do like a full-fledged presser, or maybe do like a half-hour state of play video or something like that, instead of a full-fledged presser. But the fact that they did nothing, they didn't even show up to the show floor, to me, it's more like a symptom than the disease. It's like they're not showing off anything because they don't have anything to show off, and that doesn't bode well.
Like, the thing about Sony not showing up is, like, okay, say they don't have anything to show off or whatever, right? Like, didn't they show, like, 4 games last time, and they were, like, half an hour long each?
Yeah.
Like, if they get up and show, like, okay, we've got 20 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima, 20 minutes of Death Stranding, and 20 minutes of fucking zombie game that I don't really like that everyone loses their shit about.
Last of
then,
Us
like, bam, we're done. Like, fucking...
That's all they need to show.
I 100% think that they could have filled an hour of stage time with whatever they have.
They also have third-party stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't
Even if
mind
you
showing
don't-
off third-party stuff. What?
Even if you don't do a big stage show, I mean, do a couple third-party things, and I know they've got a lot of marketing partnerships with like Call of Duty and stuff. Show some of that stuff up. Who cares? Even if it's just mode stuff.
I'm 100% sure they had material. They just didn't want to do that.
I think I think that
The
they
fact that there's no state of play at all is what really throws me.
Yeah.
Like, just the completely nothing. Like, what the fuck?
it's really weird. I think they think they can pull a Nintendo and just get people interested in watching state of play videos whenever they come out. But I think people, I know we shit on Nintendo's marketing department a lot, but they're actually pretty clever in that they time directs to coincide with Gamescom and E3. So they have that presence. They go to the show floor of each of these big conferences. They're not totally deselecting themselves from the conversation.
Every year they invest into fucking decorating the show floor and shit like that,
Well,
even though
They show up.
they're on stage. Yeah.
They don't
kinda-
need the big presser.
Not in. Go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, it's just the same thing I was saying, that there's no reason they shouldn't have had a state of play to do. Like, even if it was the one from May and they just held off on it for a little while longer.
So why did they announce, like, because Death Stranding had their big, like, 15-minute, like, trailer, like, a week ago, and, like, 2 weeks before they were showing off stuff with the PS5. Why didn't they just hold that back and do, like, a fucking state of play? Like,
all that's completely out of the conversation now, and that's such a weird thing for them to do.
I'm just very amused that you're all very, very angry about this.
I'm not
Like,
even angry.
I'm not. I don't give a shit.
I'm looking at this from.
I mean, like
from
in
the
a
perspective,
surprised
like,
way, like what the hell? Like, nah, I think like it's like they looked at the probably the money, and they said like, I don't know if it is really a good idea to do this because it seems like we're losing money on this, and people already know all our projects, and we have not much more to like show everyone. So I don't know.
Well, I think
maybe...
what Merve is saying is that's even kind of worse in a way. You know what I mean? Like if they were just like, you know what, E3 is not where we get our returns. But if they were like, if that's one thing, but if they said we don't have anything to show, I mean, this console gen's not exactly over yet. You can't.
I think no, it's like that's the thing. Like I think like most of the things that they probably are working on, they're working on a new console, and I think a lot of the things
they don't have anything to show, right? Like we haven't seen anything of that Ghost of Tsushima except for what they showed last year at E3.
Mhm.
Like surely,
Yeah,
like
we don't
I'm
have a
curious
release
about
date.
what like there has to be more to show of that game. Like what is the
Yeah.
story of it? What is the
there's
fucking
probably
like?
some of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
probably
think
one of-
there's some truth to that. Where like I think that maybe Microsoft can get away with not showing you a bunch of like Halo gameplay, for example, or Gears gameplay when
But those are
Ghost of
established
Tsushima-
franchises,
Exactly. Yeah, and Ghost of Tsushima is kind of a different property. Like, what even is it? What is what I mean? So, I
Yeah.
think there's
Open
a
world
lot.
samurai action, like that much I got, but I just don't know much of it beyond that. And it honestly looked pretty rough last time they showed it off.
Yeah, and no state of play I think is a mistake. Even more than no E3. I think you guys are right. There's a lot of people and a lot of companies announcing things independently that normally I think would have been on a stage with a Microsoft or a Sony as a marketing partner, right?
Like Devolver make a joke of the fact that they're not actually at E3
Mhm.
every year. Like they fucking set up in the car park across the road and like are having a war with like putting up balloons that like hover above the walls that E3 are rigged to like show people where they are and shit. Like
And there's no reason Sony couldn't. I mean, not that way because people
Not
call
that
them out for it, but yeah. But I mean, I think Sony could have very easily been like, yeah, we're not going to E3, but we're going to have a presser and we're going to talk about where our new games are and this and that, and maybe some stuff about the new console. And I don't know, like, it's just kind of questionable. I'm wondering if the marketing partnership part of E3 is kind of drying up as well, with the big studios doing their own thing. And it seems like the little studios, for example, Bungie, when they announced basically, hey, here's our freedom from Activision, we're announcing our new expansion type thing, they just went out on their own and did it. They could have easily done that on the E3 stage this year. They did like
Call of Duty. They're a Sony marketing thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So didn't they just show a bunch of new stuff for their game as well?
They did.
Which would have been at the Sony's E3. Like,
and what's interesting is they did that for Activision's shareholders rather than for Sony's E3. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't. Sony's definitely riding high right now, and some of it, I think, in the back of my mind, I attribute a lot to when you're the big dog, you can just make everybody else do what you want. It's kind of the mentality, and it always has been, right? And then next generation, when everybody's going to Microsoft because they've got a better streaming setup, they've got this Game Pass, and then you know what I mean. It's
going to flip back and forth. Like
exactly.
360 was top dog last gen. They screwed up the Xbox One reveal. Look what happened.
Like, it feels like every generation this happens, because it was before that. It was PS2 was the top dog. Never gonna fucking beat that. Then the PS3 $9.99 giant enemy crabs, all that shit. Then the fucking Xbox. Like, how do you not fucking learn?
Yeah. The lessons of E3, I think, to me, are never really about the games. It's about the company, right? I mean, like, the E3s that we all remember are when companies made giant gaffes or like announced something that didn't make sense, and then like it spells like a pattern for where that company goes almost, right? So yeah, I think the bigger thing is going to be, is Sony just like, look, we're so big it doesn't matter at this point. We're already moved on to the next thing, because if you've got a console in your house, it's a PlayStation 4. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here, because I do think that price is, it's easy to say price is not important, because price is always important, but when we're getting all these different technologies coming out now and all this streaming stuff and everything, like, you can theoretically have no console next generation and just sell a service, right? Which is kind of what Google's doing. So it'll be interesting to see what what Sony's plan is for a console-less console generation, because I think we've kind of seen Microsoft's. I don't really have a good idea what Sony's doing with PlayStation 5. I haven't heard much other than, it's coming and they're using Microsoft servers to do it.
It's interesting.
I don't really. So to Kappa's point about, you remember the E3s where gaffes are made. I see E3 as both an E3 gaffe is both a symptom and something that perpetuates the disease. Like, you know how when you have a bad cough and you keep coughing and it irritates your throat more and more and you keep coughing, that's what happens, right? You screw up because there's something behind the scenes that's not going well, and then that screw up becomes public, and then it fuels a narrative. Like, Bethesda's only going to go downhill from their screw up of a conference. Like that seems clear to me. It's going to take a lot for them to right the ship. And I guess part of the reason why Sony doesn't show up is because they know that they have the disease and they don't want to make those symptoms public. But at the same time, like, they could show off stuff and put on like a reduced show, or show up at the show floor with something, and they just don't do it. It's so like you're asking me like why you seem annoyed about E3 and Sony's non-presence. This isn't from a fan's perspective, because I know that Sony never shows off the reason I have a PS4. Like,
I know that.
Like, Judgment is coming out in a few weeks, and they're never going to show that off at all, or give it any sort of promotional push. And I'm super excited for that.
Judgment's fucking E3 push, they did like a 20-minute long demo on the Devolver post-show.
Yeah, that's imagine if Sony put that kind of money behind Judgment, which they never will, right? And like, the reasons I have a PS4, like, what do I have for my PS4? I have like Persona 5, I have a bunch of Yakuza games, I have Gravity Rush Remastered. None of that shit ever got shown off at at a Sony presser. So like, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad about Sony not showing up. I know they're never going to cater to me at E3. I'm just baffled from a business perspective that Sony's making the decisions that they are. And I don't know, maybe this will bear fruit. Maybe Sony's strategy will work. Maybe they'll be able to show off their state of play videos at irregular intervals and garner interest for them. But I'm not. They're not Nintendo. They haven't built up that pattern with the audience.
Let me ask you this.
From a fan perspective, I just wanted to go on what Merve was saying from a fan perspective, what you think. I'm actually kind of relieved because Sony's show last year was dire.
Oh, it was awful.
The fucking 10-minute of banjo playing, then they just showed Last of Us. Then there was a 15-minute long segment where we just watched two guys behind a desk talk as they got everyone to move to another show, and then we got a dude playing a fucking
shakuhachi.
And it's just fuck off.
It was so fucking pretentious.
Do we know if Sony has anything other than what they showed at last E3 in the works? For sure confirmed we're working on. I mean, is it literally just Last of Us 2?
I think they'll probably have new things to suddenly announce next year. They're just doing this thing where we're just not going to talk about anything until it's ready to be released, basically.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
Which is kind of weird. Maybe
that's what zero other companies are doing.
I think that what they would have shown is a bunch of titles that have no gameplay and only dates that are far into the future. So they decide we're just not going to come by because that's nothing. It's better to just say, and it's coming out in the next couple of months. Than you have 2.5 years to wait for that or something.
I like that approach in general.
We'll see. We'll see.
But we'll see if it bears fruit this time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an overview of everything that happened at E3. Well, not everything, because we're only 5 people and we have a limited amount of time. But what I wanted to do
if you want
was
to talk about everything, you have my article to read.
That's true. We have an article on the Avocado that Lovely Bones wrote up, which recaps E3 in even more detail than we did, and still doesn't include literally everything because that's impossible. But it is very comprehensive.
That's true. I did not watch the Kind of Funny conference, and I apologize.
They did show off a cool-looking.
You did watch a lot of things.
You watched way more than any human should healthily watch. So for that, we salute you.
Yeah.
So what I want to get your opinion on was what you thought was the best and worst of E3. So what was your the best announcement either from the conferences or from the show floor? What was the thing that got you most excited from E3?
My best E3 thing is at the beginning of this podcast when you called Phil Spencer Phil Spector.
Did I call him Phil Spector? Did I mispronounce his name?
You called Phil Spector, and I I was about to say something, and then we just moved on. And I was like, all right. I don't know. It was just a week showing this E3 for me. Animal Crossing, I guess. I don't have a lot of games. I liked Doom, but I already knew I liked Doom, so it wasn't anything surprising that I kind of want to find out more about.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was watching E3 and I was waiting for at least one game to really hype me up, and I was it's kind of everything I kind of knew. I was kind of surprised actually by the Elden Ring. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I've heard something about it, but I didn't want to spoil myself with E3 stuff. So I was surprised that it was with George R.R. Martin. So that was kind of cool for me. But not much else for me.
It's good stuff. Ben, what about you? What got you excited?
Weirdly, I know you watched it and I watched the Kind of Funny indie game conference thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a game there, Brave Earth Prologue, which is an old school Castlevania game made by a dude I shitpost with on Twitter constantly. He's the dude that, if anyone ever played it, I Want to Be the Guy, the Massacre platformer.
Yeah.
That dude, Cayenne, is making this Castlevania game, and just getting to see the dude who I talk about, who fucking Ivy from Soul Calibur pegs on Twitter with like the game fucking being shown at an E3 conference. Like that's fucking awesome. That or whatever the fuck this new like Assassin's Creed fantasy gods and monsters thing. One of those would be my top things.
That looks really cool. Mentioning the Kind of Funny conference, they showed off a bunch of really cool looking indies there. So for me, Superliminal, that puzzle game with that messes with perspective, that looked really neat. And it seems like it's something that could be a pretty clever... I like first-person indie puzzlers. That's like my jam. So I'm pretty on board with that. That's really cool
because I know that dude, like, basically made a tech demo proving like the fucking weird perspective shit and everything, and then sat on it for like a year because he couldn't figure out how to make a game out of it. So I'm really wrapped that he managed to figure out what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah, it looks neat. Bones, what are you excited for?
Yeah, my two highlights would basically be, one would be just seeing a bunch of new indies I hadn't heard of from Microsoft, none of which I'll have to play on an Xbox One. I'll probably try a bunch of those, and again, I don't have to pay for an Xbox to play them. And then Link's Awakening's only in like 2 months. I'm fucking really excited for that.
I like that toy aesthetic that they've got going on. It's like tilt shift kind of.
So good.
Yeah. It's really neat. Kappa, how about you?
Game wise, honestly, you guys could have probably guessed this, but Destiny, all the stuff about where Destiny's going in the future has game-wise got me the most excited. Getting out from underneath Activision, basically making the game free to play as a starter experience. They announced a lot at their own thing that I was really excited about, but E3-wise, there wasn't too much other than I really liked Microsoft's Game Pass, PC plus Game Pass. Hearing stuff like that, I think it's like finally seeing, what you could do if you're looking from a consumer perspective about play our games wherever you want. Finally embracing that really and just saying, we're going to make it easy for you, cheap for you, however you want to explain it. But being able to get games where I want, when I want is something that, like, in the back of my mind, everybody's mind, there's always like, when this happens, this is the future, like this is like living in the good old days. But being able to finally truly play what I want, where I want, I think is something I've always really wanted to have. And it sounds like it's at least on the horizon. So that was a very, very good
and it's something that I hope Microsoft keeps embracing into next gen.
I hope
partially because
does.
It means I never have to buy an Xbox. I can just play it on my PC, and Microsoft will still get my money, so I don't feel like I'm stiffing them or anything. But yeah, I like that it gives people the flexibility. I like that they're catering to a platform that I am already invested in. So I'm excited to see whatever they throw out there.
I mean, even once you start to see what can happen with actual streaming, if like Google Stadia works out, I mean, basically everybody's a PC gamer, right? If you literally own a laptop or even anything that basically can run anything, you should be able to play games on PC. That's to me is going to be
games on your phone.
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, and you're a PC gamer. You're a PC.
I'm still. It still blew my mind when the first time I saw.
That was a good commercial actually for the Stadia thing. And people were like, I can play on my phone.
It still blew my mind the first time I saw San Andreas running on a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it ran like shit, but it still blew my mind.
I'm telling you guys, once you've done it on, once you try that Google Stadia, at least on like a, everybody's got that like old laptop that just sits around or that desktop that barely boots up, Once you open that and you play something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey on it, it's going to be like, oh, okay, now I get.
I can't. I won't be able to.
Oh yeah, well. Have you considered freedom?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, only launching in 14 countries. It does seem like they're trying to ease people into the service, but I don't know. It seems like the kind of thing where they need critical mass right away, and I don't know if they're going to get it. But
yeah, it's difficult. They have to have like a bunch of servers in every location to
and infrastructure too. Yeah, I mean, the country has to have the infrastructure to make it work. Because could you imagine if you launch it and it's just like, only this one city in this whole country can basically use this, Yeah.
I mean, especially, is it even coming out to Australia? Because I'm guessing it won't.
I believe it is actually.
Oh,
I believe
that's
it is coming to Australia.
Shit show.
Yeah, I've always heard that Australia internet is like incredibly bad, so I don't know how to put that up.
It's not good.
it's worse than Canadian internet, which tells you something.
I mean, I don't think it's speed because Poland has pretty good speeds of the internet, but maybe it's just where the Google servers are localized. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Like maybe if you're out in Warsaw, it's really great, but if you're, I don't know, down in Lutz, then it runs like shit.
South, yeah. I don't know. They said that at the beginning of 2020 they will expand further with some new countries.
So for me, the best thing out of E3, I'll mention two things. First was finding out cool indies that I hadn't heard of. Like I mentioned Superliminal, Bones mentioned the Microsoft indies. I particularly liked Way to the Woods in 12 Minutes, which I hadn't even heard of before. Mosaic was announced at the PC Gaming Show. That looked super neat. And I always like finding out about cool, unique-looking indie games because I think that's where some of the most interesting narrative and ludic ideas are. And the other thing was, and I know I've already mentioned this, seeing more of Astral Chain, especially the Nintendo Treehouse streams, where they explained how the game works and how it's kind of a Nier Automata-ish brawler, but also you're controlling a second character with the other thumbstick. It looks really complicated, but also looks really neat.
Okay, so it's the one that they like kind of put chains on like monsters, right? And
The story trailer basically told us that it's going to be Pacific Rim 2 plot-wise.
Yeah, but man, that dialogue though.
It's cheesy as fuck, but it's also super anime, which is my shit. Oh my
gosh.
I'm on board.
I have absolutely no interest in that game, but I'm happy for you, Merve.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, Merve, but I was watching that and I was like, oh no, that's not my jam. But
the gameplay looks sick, though.
I loved every single thing Platinum have made, so I'm all in,
Yeah, Platinum has good gameplay, so...
It looks sick. And you can pet your like, cyber interdimensional dog, which is super cool.
Sure.
All right. What was the worst shit that got shown off at E3 for you guys? I'll surprise nobody. I'll just get this out of the way. Fuck you, Commander Keen mobile game. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay. With that out of the way, what was your guys' worst?
I think that...
Worst part of E3... Oh, sorry, you guys on.
Nah, for me it was...
Why don't you go ahead? So go ahead. So what do you say? Science.
Yeah.
Oh, me? No, I just said like, yeah, for me it was that show that Rob tried to push. Like, I was like, oh, am I watching
Mythic
a game
Quest?
conference or am I watching a TV show conference? What's going on? So that kind of like weirded me out. I as I said, I like Rob, but I was like, what is this announcement doing on a press conference for a video game studio? Super weird.
Yeah.
It was kind of off-putting. It was weird. So,
Ben, you go ahead. What was your worst?
My worst part of E3 was after the PC show, a spider started to live on the toilet roll in my bathroom, and I couldn't use the toilet for the day and had to use the ensuite.
That sounds like Australia. Everything I've heard is true.
Everything. It's very Australian and very spider heavy.
How big of a spider was it?
A little spider. They're the ones you need to be worried about. The big ones are mostly harmless. The little ones are the ones that have all the poison in.
Size of a small cat. You know, not too big, just a cat size.
My actual worst thing, though, was just the amount of games they showed that didn't tell you fucking what it was. And it's just like by the time I got to like the third conference, they're just showing like pre-rendered trailers. Like, I don't care. Fucking, what is this?
Yeah, like for instance, Deathloop, right? I like a lot of what Arcane has put out. I'm an immersive sim junkie, and that didn't sell me on Deathloop at all. It's a fucking cinematic trailer. Who gives a shit? Show me like what I'm actually going to be doing in this goddamn game. I totally agree, Ben. That was fucking annoying. And by the time we got to Marvel's Avengers and it didn't show fucking jack shit, I think
it showed a little tiny bit of gameplay, but small enough to confuse me about what exactly was it. Like I was pretty sure it was a brawler, but I was sure it was a 4-player like co-op thing.
Yeah, only for like a tiny segment of the game. Which
it was
not
even
clear.
Yeah, it was like even miscommunicating things because it showed 4 heroes and then showed them brawling, and I was like, yeah, well, obviously it means that you can invite 3 more friends, and that's such a weird thing.
Yeah, so fuck Square Enix for that. Bones, what was your worst bit of E3?
Yeah, my worst moment's got to be Fallout 76 NPCs, and it's not just how Bethesda, like the attitude that they carried of showing off the NPCs, but as I forget who on Twitter, but someone very aptly put, I don't know why people are celebrating this. Bethesda doesn't write good NPCs anyway, which is
that is true.
Is what I felt about literally all Fallout games. So
100%.
Yeah, like I've played New Vegas, and that was decently well written.
And they didn't write New Vegas.
Exactly, that was my point. Like everybody, the Fallout that everybody loves is Obsidian's Fallout.
Yeah. If you like New Vegas,
Bethesda.
check out Outer Wilds and not Outer Wilds. Goddamn, Outer Worlds in October.
People are gonna get those two.
Way too
forever.
similar name.
Yeah, I'm still fucking it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bethesda just continuing to do things with an RPG series I was really invested in that just offend me. That's my low point.
That's fair.
That's a
Kappa,
good low
what was your...
NPCs in a game in 2019 isn't supposed to be a big major announcement on the stage.
No.
It would be if it were like Tetris. Like,
NPCs in Tetris. Every time
the
you make a Tetris,
like the square block is alive now. Kappa, what was your least favorite announcement?
Well, least favorite announcement was definitely Avengers. I know you guys already kind of talked about it, but that was a real downer. Least favorite thing that wasn't shown that I was hoping would be Splinter Cell or Fable. Both of those I think were really missing out, and I was primed for both of those to get a reboot. Those not showing up kind of bummed me out, but the worst thing I actually saw was that Avengers, whatever the hell that thing is.
Talk about worst thing that wasn't shown is I'm salty as fuck we didn't get any Bayo 3.
Yeah.
We've been very clear on this, Ben. It's very clear that they're just waiting until Astral Chain is out, and Astral Chain's out in August, so you don't have a lot to wait.
I want it now!
I think Ben.
That's how I am with Fable. I think finally the tech has caught up with what the game wants to do, and they've gotten.
The company isn't being run by a con man.
Exactly. They've gotten rid of the big old albatross that was Molyneux.
They got rid of Molyneux? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he's at 22 cans now.
They got rid of Molyneux and they hired Molyneux. So.
I love that Twitter account.
Making scam phone games now where your life will be changed if you click the right square. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, Curiosity.
Yeah, and then that dude still hasn't seen any money from
Not one dime from it. Not one fucking dime.
So fucking shady.
So fucked up.
Like 22 cans is apparently just falling apart too. I keep calling it 22 cans instead of 22 cans. 22 cans would be a much better name for a studio.
I would love to play 22 cans.
Control these 22 cans. You can pet them. They will follow you. One of them can die.
I want a toucan army game now. Like that would be fucking rad. It's like
Viva
colorful
Pinata
birds
3,
following me
22
around
cans.
Yeah. That'd be fucking
Where's
rad.
Viva Pinata? I want Viva Pinata.
Look, Rare's probably just porting all of the replay to Switch right now, so they'll be back soon.
Bones, I want Viva Pinata.
Honestly, my call for that is I reckon Rare are making Banjo 3 for the Scarlet launch.
They're all in Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is having a renaissance. It's very hype right now.
Sea of Thieves, I'm fucking down for Sea of Thieves, although I started up to get that fucking Halo ship and everything. I booted up, okay, cool, and I got ganked at the thing. It's this is why I stopped playing Sea of Thieves.
I can't comment on Sea of Thieves. I'm not gonna say anything either way on that. But I do sincerely believe that the amount of care that went into this new Banjo redesign for Smash is enough that they clearly want to do more with it than just Smash. I'm not saying it'll be a new platformer, but I think there'll be something.
I reckon it can't be the full Rare team on just doing Sea of Thieves update, right?
Not anymore. I'm sure they.
So the full Rare team have to be doing something, and I reckon Microsoft clearly know that people want fucking Banjo 3. So
I mean,
watch it be Ukulele 2.
Well, Ukulele 2 is already happening.
That's actually okay. So that's something different. Now it's like a quasi sequel, like a spin-off, which is a 2D platformer, which looks okay and probably should have been what Yooka-Laylee was, because what Yooka-Laylee wasn't good. I also like how Bones accidentally said Sea of Thieves, as if they'd like skip over Sea of Thieves 2 and just go to Sea of Thieves 3, which would be a bold fucking move. I want to see that happen.
That would be very bold, and that is my favorite titling scheme, as we all know. The 4, the 7, and
oh yeah, or like as I was mentioning for the Quiet Man 2, it should have been the Twiet Man.
yes.
The fact that it's not Splatoon instead of Splatoon is a fucking crime.
That's true. That is true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't work in like other languages. Like in French, it'd be like Splatoon.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So yeah, they're doing something. For me, the most surprising absence was, and you know, it makes sense in retrospect because they're Sony's marketing partner. No Call of Duty shown off at all at E3. We had the announcement before that it was going to be called Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which isn't confusing at all.
The worst fucking. Oh my god.
Also,
I hate games that do that.
yeah, like
God of War or Prince of Persia
or fucking Prey.
Halloween, and Halloween.
Okay, so the really funny thing about Prey was the people who'd got the who had both the old version of Prey, like essentially the old version, the 2006 Prey through Steam and the 2017 Prey through Steam. What happens is because Steam doesn't Steam names folders after the game and didn't at the time have a system for naming these separately. What would happen was they would download. They would download the new Prey, and it would overwrite the old Prey instead of writing into a new folder.
No.
So, if you bought both games, you'd be like, "Fuck!" You'd write over your old Prey save.
Oh no! What will I do?
Hey, people like the 2006 one.
All 7 people were devastated.
I mean, it is kind of shitty all around.
Yeah.
And this is why you shouldn't name games the same fucking thing. Come up with a different goddamn name, especially for like Prey was not a completely forgotten game. Like, come up with a different goddamn name. Yeah, they really should have called it like, I don't know, Prey in Space, or I don't know, Prey Space Station.
Pray and pray.
Did you play the original Prey, Merve? It was in space.
It was. Yeah. That's why I said that was stupid. I played the first 2 hours of it before I was trying to play on a shitty laptop, and my laptop started basically displaying a slideshow, and then I gave up. So.
Needed Stadia.
Pardon me?
Needed the Google Stadia to play it.
Oh yeah. When they finally bring this dead game to Stadia, I'll definitely invest in Google's infrastructure. Any other surprising absences from E3 that you guys want to mention?
I was just bummed out that no Metroid at all.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected that because they announced they're restarting development. But yeah, I'm still kind of bummed that we're not seeing
Town.
a new. Oh yeah, Town, that Game Freak game.
I was so convinced that Town, which is an eShop exclusive Game Freak RPG that's about basically just being a fantasy anime boy in one town overridden by monsters or whatever. I was so sure that they were just going to info dump on that and then shadow drop it, and now nothing. We still don't know anything about it.
What's happening with the duck game?
Pardon?
Untitled Goose Game.
The Goose Game.
That was delayed to late 2019, and it's going to be on Switch and an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we've that sort of covered what we thought would show up at E3 but didn't. So what do you think, just to kind of close this up, this implies for E3 going forward?
You know my opinion.
So science thinks E3 is going to die.
Not die, but like there's some parts that will slowly peter out a little bit, but I think that it serves a purpose.
If I'm optimistic, everyone will move completely towards directs while still having show floor presence.
Yes,
and
that's
it'll
what
be just a vastly better experience.
Yeah, we don't need like the 2 hour awkward pressers where some guy in a blazer and a gaming t-shirt comes out on stage and then talks for 10 minutes about some random crap. It's just not necessary anymore.
I mean,
if you want to have like, if you want to do the thing like the orchestra or like the dance show for Ubisoft, like you could still just pre-record that. You can.
Yeah, there's very little that needs to be done on stage anymore. I feel like that's one of the things that people need to kind of slowly realize is that the stage presence and presentation is important, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't need to be what Sony did 2 years ago, and it doesn't need to be super bare minimum. Just put some effort into it, shows the audience that you're kind of trying to sell them a product, I guess, and then let the games or the demos or whatever you've got kind of speak for themselves after that.
Like I said, I think that strategy worked really well for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show off too much during the Direct, but the Treehouse streams are great. They show you exactly what the game looks like and how it plays.
No, they made the Treehouses vital to watch for information, and in a way that wasn't aggravating. It was just, for me at least, it was just very satisfying. It worked out well.
Yeah, but even their Nintendo Direct, it was like very little bullshit and just like next game, and those are the best conferences, not the ones
so I
with
think
a
Microsoft
guy
and
playing
Nintendo
banjo and who knows the fuck what. Only like, that's why I think most of those could be just done like via streaming. Like just have a pre-recorded thing like Nintendo Direct and just show a bunch of games. And I don't think you have to have like a big conference room with a banjo guy.
Yeah, that's why Microsoft and Nintendo's conferences were the best this year. They're just,
I agree.
Here's a bunch of games.
I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction in that, like, I agree they're probably going to tap down in it, but I really hope they don't, because the dumb live stage shit is, like, what I live for at E3. Like, if we get E3s that don't have weird shit, like a crazy dude screaming at Bethesda dudes, and, like, just that
next year, the banjo guy is playing, and Cirque du Soleil is also on the stage.
I would be dead.
And the panda comes in and starts dancing.
I love seeing E3 gaffes. Like, do you guys remember when Wonderbook was debuted and it didn't work?
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious. Also, what the fuck happened to the Wonderbook?
What the fuck is
Wonderbook? Games that they got cancelled? Oh my... Sony made the worst, like, fucking peripheral supporter in the world. It's hilarious.
My E3 prediction for next year is going to be 99% of the announcements will be by Keanu Reeves. Like, they're just going to hire him to just go out there and just announce everything.
He'll be so tired.
No, you're beautiful.
It'll just be Keanu Reeves and a dog like John Barrett's dog.
They will just approach Keanu and, hey, can you do the check this shit out on the screen? And like, just...
Yeah, I'm down with more Keanu. I like Keanu Reeves as a human being.
I do like Keanu.
Everyone likes Keanu Reeves. He's amazing.
It's nice to have a good celebrity you feel like you can
He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, just seems like just seems like a nice dude. He's like a Tom Hanks. He's like a nice figure that I'd like to hang out with. Get nachos, He's a cool dude. What I think that's gonna happen in the future. Or what this sort of implies is that I think at the start of this gen, publishers and platform holders especially platform holders, had a very rigid idea of what the gaming sphere wanted in terms of games, and that was reflected in their slates. Especially, Microsoft was pushing hard on like the sports titles and the shooters, and I think what they've seen sells people on a platform is having a very diverse slate of games that covers, the shooters and the sports games, but also weird indie titles or colorful platformers or RPGs or other things. And that's what I think is going to continue being the pattern going forward, because I think they realize now that this diversity is what sells platforms. So Microsoft showed off a very diverse slate this time. Same with Nintendo. And companies that don't show off such a diverse slate, like Ubisoft this time showed off just basically a bunch of Tom Clancy games, which is a little off-brand for them because they're more diverse normally. I think we're going to see kind of more of a push towards having that diverse slate in the future. Because I think people respond well to it. It's not like they think that they're going to have this audience full of like angry Twitch boys screaming, where's my next Battlefield? Or where's my next, military shooter or tactical shooter or what have you. And that doesn't seem to be the case.
Ubisoft show.
Yeah. Just wait for Ubisoft. Wait for more Tom Clancy. So I think it's exciting for me. It's healthy for the industry, even when they don't show off games that I'm particularly interested in. I'm glad to see that the industry is expanding the kinds of genres that it's selling to the general public. That's really exciting to me. And it proves that the games industry is healthier than it otherwise would have been. So I'm excited for that, and I think that's what we're going to see going forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think we've talked a lot about E3, and is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention before we call this marathon of a podcast to a close?
Oh, the one thing I did want to mention that I kept forgetting and didn't find a seamless way to bring up without it being just an awkward throw it on there.
Not awkward at all now.
No, this is perfectly seamless. You'll never guess that this was a last minute thing that I've been. Anyway, there was a fucking low-key one of the coolest announcements about the fucking Xbox Scarlet at is it called Inside Xbox, the weird after show thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be backwards compatible with games and
Controllers
and shit.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy.
Yeah. That
That's a really good way to get people on board with it.
3 Xbox One controllers and an Xbox One arcade stick. Not having to buy. So for multiplayer games, I don't need to buy more controllers.
yeah,
Do you
it's also
think-
good if you're going
I don't
from
wanna,
PC back and forth.
I don't like to derail the whole thing, but do you think we reached a plateau with controllers? We can't
do. I really do. I'm looking
Every
at the
controller looks the same now. Except for Sony, who weirdly.
Yeah,
insisted
I was just wondering
on
if it could be improved, but
I think
I'm a
their new
weirdo who
generation
likes
of
the... Sorry,
What?
go ahead.
their new generation
say-
of the Elite is one step forward, but it's an iteration. It's not like a total reboot. But I feel like Xbox One, Xbox 360, that whole line from 360 to Elite is just. I don't think controllers are getting much better than what that is.
And all the other major controllers emulate that basic shape. The DualShock just switches the D-pad and the thumbstick. That's all it is. I actually prefer that setup. I find it more ergonomic, but other people disagree. That's fine. The Switch Pro controller looks like that as well. The Stadia looks like a much less ergonomic version of that.
Yeah, it's too blocky.
Yeah. Even the fucking Ouya controller looked like that. Y'all remember the Ouya?
oh yeah, holy shit!
Throwback
I have-
Thursday.
I have one studio with the most because I backed the Kickstarter and you got the ones that were engraved with people's who backed its names and everything, and I got the one that has fucking Notch's name engraved on it.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
You have the perfect Ouya. Great.
It's so true.
He
Because
was
that
really
whole-
big on selling that. He was one of the main reasons that that thing even got off the ground, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so much for that.
Yeah. That was
I
a fun...
can't believe it. That's the perfect Ouya. It couldn't be better.
I'd put that shit on eBay right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
The only good Ouya game was The Amazing Frog, and I'm saying The Amazing Frog because it had a question mark in the title, because it was basically the insurance fraud game from Saints Row, but an
Yeah.
entire game of that except for you're a frog. So I used to call it Insurance Frog.
No,
Did they
the
have,
most good Ouya game
powers?
was downloading all the emulators on it and just using it as a fucking.
No, there was the tower thing.
Towerfall, essentially.
Tower-
what it was
Yeah.
called.
Towerfall's everything now, though.
Yeah, but it was their big system seller for a while, and then that, yeah, they were like, no, we're not selling systems, we're not selling games.
Yeah.
Or Ouya. There'll be another Ouya, and give it 2 or 3 years, somebody else will think that the console market is so easy.
No,
they
there's,
can just work in.
what's
Isn't
the
that
fucking-
Soldier Boys?
Yeah.
No, there's that handheld thing that just got announced a month ago that people are making that has a fucking crank on the side of it or something.
Oh yeah, the hipster game console. It has a crank on it, so you can play it at night. It has a screen that doesn't have a backlight.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And what they do
the
is you buy the console, and then they release a game a month for it. So it's like a curated experience.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh
And
god,
like,
it's
dude,
the fucking craft beer of consoles.
Yeah. So you get the curated experience to it. It's not mass marketed games for the
and
mouth.
isn't the
or
screen
whatever.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
all
shitty
like-
old LCD black and
Yeah.
white like a fucking old Game Boy or something.
Oh fuck, we're not gonna be able to play The Quiet Man on it.
The Playdate.
Oh no!
If you want to look it up, it's called the Playdate. It has 2 buttons and a D-pad. That's your input.
Oh no.
Oh god, it sounds like it's basically just like, how can we get people to pay like $200 for a Game Boy without a backlight?
From what I've seen on the screen, it doesn't look like a Game Boy without a backlight. It looks like... Do you remember those, like, old Tiger Electronic fucking...
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah, I had a couple of those.
Yeah,
I stole them
looks
from my
like one
cousin
of
in India.
them.
Oh yeah, I had one called Fighter Rabbit. I had like a literal old Nintendo Game & Watch. Like it was a literal game and watch.
Stole them from your cousin.
Yeah, I stole them from... I visited India when I was 6 years old. And
I wasn't
cousin,
surprised for that.
my cousin had a bunch of them, and he was like, I don't fucking play these anymore. They're like 8 years old. Just take them off my hands. So I took them back with me to Canada. And then I had like Fighter Rabbit and something called, I think, Border Army and a literal Game & Watch. And then they all broke after 3 years of overplaying them. So yeah. That was... I know exactly the kind of shit you're talking about. And if that's what they're going for, what the fuck, man? Nobody should pay like however much they're charging for that shit. Nobody should pay more than like $10 for something like that.
I had a Russian knockoff of a Game & Watch. It was cool. That's my story.
Yeah. Was it like the Lada of Game & Watches?
It was like based on a Russian like a cartoon with I don't remember. It was weird. It was pretty cool though. Like it. Oh man, I think I saw like a Game & Watch that also was a similar thing where you collected eggs or something. I don't remember. It was a knockoff 100%, like most of things.
Yeah.
I can get.
My Game & Watch was poker. And I was 8 years old and didn't understand poker, so I didn't really get much out of it. But it also had blackjack, and I understood blackjack, so it also helped me. It also helped train my 7-year-old mind in basic arithmetic. So that was good.
I think the coolest Game & Watch was the one with the octopus that I saw. I always wanted that one. Cool.
There was an octopus Game & Watch.
Yeah, like
that probably inspired so many fetishes.
It's Game & Watch's Final Smash in Smash Bros.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's the only reason I know about the Octopus one is from the fucking Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Mr. Game & Watch is basically my favorite Smash Bros. Character because he's just a fucking troll. He throws bacon at people. It makes no fucking sense, but I adore it.
Everything about Game & Watch was a brilliant idea. The character, not the console.
Yeah.
Also pretty cool.
All right. So I think we should call this podcast to a close. If you'd like to keep up to date with the podcast, you can follow us on our website at avocadogamescast@wordpress.com. We post each episode along with a link dump that fact checks all of our blathering. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes for now, Apple Podcasts probably in the future, also in Google Play Music. Just search for Avocado Gamescast. And make sure you check out the the-avocado.org, which is the community that spawned this podcast. All right. One last thing before we go. This is our 50th episode. So fittingly, we spent way too long talking about random shit, and I'm hungry and want to eat lunch at some point. But one more thing I wanted to mention was we would not be doing this podcast if people weren't listening to it. And we actually do have listeners. We have roughly 36 of them. So thank you for supporting this podcast for 50 episodes. We really, truly appreciate it. And here's to 50 more opportunities to dunk on Randy Pitchford.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, we were ahead of the curve on that one.
Like, I can't believe it got shown so many times and we didn't even dunk on him at all this episode.
We dunked on him at the start, and we dunked on him at the end, which I think is fitting. So thank you all for being on the podcast, and to our listeners, we will see you all next time. Bye now.
Good night.
Bye.
See ya.